boys.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The lads.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The dudes.
Prepare yourself for BOYSCAST.
The bros.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The homies.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The dudes.
Experience the BOYSCAST.
The boys. Cast.
The BOYSCAST, no intro, no names, no gimmicks, real names, no gimmicks.
In this economy?
In this economy.
Who can afford an
I
intro, Ryan?
We couldn't afford it. I lost all my money. I got it back. We're not even playing the other intro. That's how serious I am about this business. I'm right fucking
Lost it
in.
all, got it back, lost it all again, got it back again, lost it all
Woo, woo,
again.
woo, woo. We're on a roller coaster, pal. And by the way,
Buckle
before
up.
we even get, but we buckle up, but before we even get into that, we got some more important business.
What's
because,
this?
well, there's a lot of controversy last week surrounding the BOYSCAST topic on
Sure.
whether wanking it,
Oh, cranking it with the testosterone?
cranking it, and testosterone. And a lot of people were saying different things, so I just had
Because I know the Muhammad Ali famously didn't crank it before fights.
I know.
Because I think it just made him a little more aggravated.
And a lot of people had different opinions on that, so I did a deep dive on it, and I wanted to find out.
Oh, it's Ryan's Science Corner. We've been talking shit about science for fucking the last year. We get Ryan's Science
I
Corner.
was reading every article, and then I said,
Science.
well, first I started off by reading every article, and then I was just like, this isn't making a dent. I need to get in the field. I cranked it like fucking 12 times a day for 6 days
Sure.
straight.
They're like linking to Pornhub and stuff. You're like, all of a sudden you're watching porn. You're like, well, how did this happen?
So anyways, after my research of cranking it for 6 days, I decided that my testosterone's still super fucking high. So I looked in the mirror, and I'm still a jacked beast. It
Yeah.
made zero difference.
Okay.
So my personal thing is I cranked it 12 times, and I go, what if I crank it 15?
Sure.
Cranked it 15, testosterone's still high,
Still
still
the
a
same.
beast. I go, what if I do it 17 times? 17 times, I'm knee deep in my own sperm. But at the same time, still a beast, still jacked, T's still really high, still making people flinch on the subway. So it had no effect on my personal T.
Yeah, they should offer like a sperm bank testosterone like blood panel combination,
Bloods panel, because I'm in the Crips now. The way that
there you
the
go,
guy in
yeah.
the blood and the guy in the subway.
just so we can know.
He bumped me, and I go, what are you looking
What do you
at,
want?
pal? This is the research, apparently. So cranking it to testosterone, basically all the studies say that it does not.
Yes.
However, there's a lot of other things that are linked to it. For example, okay, I'll give you some stress, sleep, dopamine fatigue, sedentary lifestyle,
Yeah.
lower competition. All of those things relate to testosterone, right?
I mean, if you're sitting in front of a computer 10 hours a day and you're, a man.
The thing is, the cranking it does not operate completely independently
No.
of you kind of not being out there. For example, competitiveness makes T higher, right?
Yeah.
So if you're out there trying to get girls and you're sort of in that zone,
Yeah.
you're competing with other guys.
Sure, that cranks it up. Absolutely.
If you're dopamine fatigue, so if you're just nonstop cranking it, it all adds up to these other things, right? Like if you're sitting in your basement, just fucking drinking Mountain Dew, playing video games,
Yeah.
cranking it, over time.
You'll become a low T individual.
You
That's
will.
those are general low T behaviors.
Yes,
And then it's compounding.
it compounds. Yeah, you're not a guy that oh yeah, on every other thing in my life, I'm just I'm competitive, I'm crushing it. Also, I crank it 14 times a day.
Yeah, like that morning routine guy with the bananas on his face. Like that guy, if he rubs a couple out, no effect.
No, probably not if he doesn't make any other changes.
Yeah, like
So
if he goes, I added cranking one to my morning
Yes.
routine and my nighttime routine. No effect on testosterone. Still a jacked.
But the problem is it possible that he wakes up, he's about to do all this stuff, cranks it, and then he goes,
Yeah, he goes, I can go back to bed. 4:30 is kind
Ashton
of
Hall. Yeah, he goes, 4:30, fucking, what am I doing?
I can go back to bed.
Right, it is possible that he's on his way to his morning gym session, cranks one out, and then he goes, what are we doing here? You know what I mean?
What? It's like these arms.
What am I putting banana on my face for? Who cares?
Yeah, who cares?
And he was at the nighttime. He was like, "I'm gonna go sleep at 7 p.m." He cranks one. He goes, "I watch a couple episodes." You know?
Oh yeah, what's going on in first 48? Season 4.
Obviously, Landman sort of heating it up.
Yeah, Landman.
So I think it's a mix of those sort of things.
Interesting.
But then again, you have to go the other way. Whereas, for example, cranking it, there's the competitiveness of what it takes to have sex with a woman. That sort of gets you juiced up. But the other side of it is, if you crank it, if you just crank one out for 5 minutes instead of spending an entire night with a woman, what is the benefits of that, right?
Oh, big time. A lot of benefits.
Well, if you think about that,
savings.
There's those benefits, but from a like jacked up guy perspective, option one was you cranked it for 5 minutes and then you fucking grinded. Y'all sleeping, I'm working.
Yep.
Option two is you're like, oh fuck, I need to smash tonight. I just spent 7 hours with a girl lowering my tea.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of a life hack. Now that you're saying it, it's just crank one out. If it's a productivity hack.
But the problem is, it's probably a good short-term productivity hack, right?
Yeah.
But if you start to rely on cranking it, then over time you probably like you don't keep all these high-profile routines when you're cranking it so much.
Yeah. See, the no fap thing, I kind of thought of it as more like they're just like, we're trying to be these super like disciplined, like going against, like we're basically just being very disciplined in that there's this thing we obviously want to do, but we're not going to do it.
Right.
We're not going to do it.
It's like a lifestyle discipline thing.
Yeah, it's like a discipline thing.
And it depends though, like, are you a disciplined guy, or do you spend, like, for example, getting in shape in general, being in shape, you're probably in better, you're in better, like
shape?
I was gonna say mental standing,
mental
like if you're gonna
benefits.
work a ton, right? However, if you're like sort of a 30 pounds overweight guy and you're like obsessed with food and you go, okay, now I'm spending 6 hours a day thinking about food and like obsessing over it and like my diet, and you're just like, you're actually less productive because that's the only thing you're I'm consumed by it. So I think it's
just shove that Twinkie in your hole and get to work.
Exactly, right? Which some people do. So it depends on temperament, depends on a bunch of these different factors.
Interesting.
So this is sort of where I'm at with it. Like potentially short term, where you're just like, I was going to go waste a whole night doing this. It's like cranked one out. Now I'm fucking back in it.
Back in.
But I think those over time, you don't just crank one out. It starts
the problem
to
is that your
lifestyle.
testosterone naturally declines anyway, so then it's hard to say.
I've been saying that one of the things with because one of the things that naturally declining testosterone, it was like you're 30% less likely to commit crimes, but 100% more likely to be a bitch.
Yeah.
So it's a catch-22.
Sure. Yeah. God works in mysterious ways. Why does he do this to us?
When you're talking, because if you were attacking it from a productivity standpoint, I think, right? So yeah, you are. For example, if you crank one, when you're young, you aren't able to say no to sex. We've talked about this. You're in a car, fucking 2 towns over, like some, like a bitch that's just like a magnet to pussy, right?
Yeah.
And then you grow up and you're just like, hey, you can just say no.
Yeah. I don't feel like it tonight.
Right.
Not tonight. I mean, I will say with the testosterone thing, like not cranking it, raising testosterone, if that was even like really 1% factually true, every bodybuilder would be like, want that edge. Right? Every professional bodybuilder would be like, yo, you don't crank it.
It would be a known thing.
It would be a known thing because they're like, for them, it's all like fractions of percents that like are the difference between
that's a huge point. They're like, this wouldn't be uncharted business.
No, this would be every bodybuilder would be like, yeah, you can't crank it. Like just like they have their diets totally set up.
They've probably done these a lot of
these. You do the water, like how you do like the purging your body of water before like a show, like they all do it, like every single one of them, because like that actually works. So they'd be like not cranking it.
I think you're probably right. That really makes a lot of sense. You wouldn't have different schools of thought. That would be settled science.
Exactly. Yeah. They'd just be like, you don't crank it 2 weeks before or 6 months or whatever.
But it is probably true that none of those guys are cranking 7 days a week like sloths. You know what I mean?
Those guys also have like tiny shriveled balls from all the steroids. Just like a little piece.
The other thing, that testosterone is one of the reasons you live longer. Like the women live longer, so they don't have as much of it. And I've been saying that
we should get on some estrogen.
Well, it's a catch-22. Women get to live 7 years longer, but also they have
men get to live 7 years shorter without women.
Without women, men get to live 7 years without women, and then also women have to spend their last 7 years looking like a man.
Alone.
You have to spend
stupid widow.
You have to spend it alone looking like a man.
Dumbass widow.
Do not miss us on the road. I'm on tour in Salt Lake this weekend, Denver, then Atlanta, Calgary, Uncasville, San Diego, Tulsa, Appleton, Columbus, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Baltimore. Get tickets. A lot of shows are selling out. RyanLongComedy.com. Danny's also hitting the road.
I'm going to be in Vancouver next weekend and Edmonton the week after that. Get tickets at DannyComedy.com.
Do not miss it. The shows have been a blast.
Woo!
And by the way, people do like have that conversation about video games.
Yeah.
And I've been cooking in, which by the way, you have to join me because
Playing video games?
There's an arcade moved
What
across the
the
street
hell?
from me. I'm telling you, I walked in. I'm a Pac-Man guy now.
You're
right?
You're a Pacman guy? One of the greatest Jewish video games, Pacman. It's Pacman.
Pacman, Spider-Man, Bet. I think my tea is fucking juiced through the roof.
Do they have the pop shot?
No, if they had pop
dude,
shot, I would have came in here and flipped the table.
If they had pop shot, I'd just be waiting here. Go, where's Ryan? You're just like fucking you against some 9-year-old, just like dummying him.
You wouldn't be waiting because I beat all the records, buddy. I played Pac-Man
I wonder
for.
if it's the same one in Long Island City because there's also one by my house. on
You
the
got
other
to
side
come
of the
through,
water.
man.
Yeah, let's do it.
I did a day this Sunday, and I was like cooking around, and I found this new arcade. First of all, people there mean business. The guys who work there look like Stranger Things. They've got
really? Yeah.
you know, they got
horn rim glasses, all that
horror
stuff.
T-shirts. The guy had the fucking gloves with the fingers cut off.
Oh,
He was
really?
dead serious about this business.
Do they have the quarters?
He's got the belt.
Is
with
it
the
a quarter?
quarters.
Really?
Quarters,
Belt with
yeah.
quarters?
No, he didn't have the belt with quarters. I'll tell you what was funny though,
quarters.
because at first I felt like I wasn't that good at Pac-Man, but then I just Pac-Man. So I sort of figured it out where all of a sudden I was just like clicked and I was just like beating high scores right and left.
Yeah.
Because I kind of figured out what the move was, and you sort of whatever. I don't need to tell you my techniques.
Yeah.
But the bottom line was I finished it, and I was probably there for 2 hours. I had 4 of the top 10 high scores.
Really?
So I'm just like, well, I might be the best at Pac-Man in the world, right?
Yeah.
And I was like wondering, I walked up to the guy and I'm like, hey, you don't reset this every day, right? I wanted to know. And he goes, no, it's since we've been here, like, which has been like 3-4 weeks, like it hasn't reset it. And I was like,
3-4 weeks.
yeah,
Oh, it's only been open for 3-4 weeks.
that's a decent amount of weeks.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, how many games are there?
I don't know. Pac-Man's the only Pac-Man.
Yeah, I don't know. Pac-Man sucks.
Well, whatever.
Do they
No,
have
it's an
NBA
attraction
Jam?
here. Well, you sound like
They have
him.
Terminator?
It's a pinball cafe.
Oh.
The thing is, you sort of sound like this guy because I sort of went up to him and I'd be like, I just want to confirm this isn't like some scam. I actually beat all the records.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then he looks at me and he's like, well, most of the people are 10.
This is Ryan at the strip club. I'd just like to confirm, you really do love me, right? Just to confirm, I know I've been paying you all night for lap dances, but you're in love with me, right?
The guy sort of killed my buzz a little bit.
Yeah, he goes,
He's like, it is. He goes, because I was like, because I beat all the high scores. I was just wondering, like, is that common or am I the best at this in the world? And the guy's like, it is mostly 11-year-olds playing that game.
That's
So
excellent.
11-year-olds know who Arnold is. I'll tell you that much. When they come in, I see the fucking 11-year-olds in the corner whispering, like, I think that's Arnold.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's him. That's him.
That's Arnold.
Should we talk to him?
The guy comes up to me. I just knock his quarters out of his hands.
Oh, my bucket of quarters.
I definitely thought I was the king, but I was
Do
telling
they have
you.
NBA Jam?
No, I'm telling you, it's a pinball cafe
Pac-Man's not
mostly.
they
have like
it's mostly
3
pinball.
other things. Yes, they have 3 other golden jewels, but mainly pinball. It's like 40 pinball
I'm
machines.
not a big pinball guy.
Well, that's why we play Pac-Man.
Yeah, Pac-Man.
I wasn't either, man. That's why I played.
Well,
a couple
there's
games
by
of
my
pinball.
house.
They're all the exact same.
By my
brand.
house on the other side of the water, there's like a similar arcade thing, but it's all just arcade games mostly. Yeah. I've never been in it. I walk by it though.
Yeah, I know. I normally don't care, but I was in the
right, let's
zone.
do
I
it
was a
up.
couple drinks deep. But I would say that to me, the benefit of tea, if I was to summarize this whole thing, it's sort of like liquid courage.
Yeah.
In that, you know, when you know how like some people get really good at, you're better at picking up girls when you're drunk, or some people do stand-up comedy, but you don't want to rely on it, right?
No.
So you don't want your whole, you want to eventually, you have to, as your tea drops, you almost want to be like, you want to be a like risk taker and not fearful mentally.
Sure.
So you almost need
you have to be mentally teed up.
Yeah, it's like the guy. It feels a little bit like the guy that, you know, he's really good at, like, he's like a tough guy when he's drunk, but then he's kind of like timid, doesn't like talking to people, and you're like, well, you don't want that.
No.
You don't want tea to be your fucking liquid courage.
Sure.
You want to actually internalize that as you get older, where now you're just like a strong person.
Yeah, you want to be that like 60-year-old dad who like someone's like acting up in line at like the McDonald's, and you go, you want to go outside, buddy? And
You
you're
do
like,
not want
but you're
this.
like, people are like, I've never even seen my dad fight. That's crazy.
yeah, exactly.
Never fought anybody ever.
Yeah, because it's not the tea juicing through his bodies. He's mentally a badass.
Yeah, he's just mentally. He goes, justice needs to be served. I've had enough of these people.
I got one more for you because I told you I did a day and I was cruising around and I got sunburnt in like 5 seconds of walking around.
Yeah.
It wasn't even hot out.
Yeah, it was not hot on
my
Sunday.
face is
It was freezing. Oh, and it was overcast.
I had a coat on.
What kind of shit Irish genetics do you have? What's
bad
going on?
ones.
What is this?
Well, I had a joke about it because I was saying that basically to me, the sun is like how black people talk about cops. I'm like, I'm just minding my own business. And they start victim blaming like you did. Like, how does that happen? And they're like, did you put sun lotion on? I did. I go, if you did everything right, you shouldn't be burnt. Like, I go, I'm just going for a normal jog. And then
the sun wasn't even out. He goes, yeah, it's those UV rays.
Did you reach for the sun lotion?
Yeah.
I go, yes. I was just reaching for my sun lotion.
Caked up in it, and I still came home orange.
Yeah, and then people start victim blaming you. Like, did you stand in the right spot? And you're like, I was not.
Did you have a parasol? Were you walking around with a parasol, Ryan? Those are the Asians have figured that out.
It's ridiculous. Everyone victim blames me because you go, did you put sun lotion? I go, yeah, I did all this stuff. They go, yeah, but you probably didn't reapply. I go, I was bathing in it.
What was the SPF?
Yeah,
it was 50.
Yeah. It's like exactly how like black guys talk about the cops where I go, I did nothing wrong. I promise you. I complied.
You complied and you still got burned.
Yeah.
Tough break.
You want to talk tea?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what's tea. 2 transgendered players in the women's pool.
Boys. Let's go, fellas. We did it.
Fellas, we have finally accomplished the what do they call it? The
pool?
No, what's
Billions?
it? When like AI, when AI
AGI?
Singularity, the singularity.
Singularity.
It is, yeah, this is finally the singularity. 2 transgender players compete in finals women's pool. And by the way, there's protesters outside and stuff. It was quite the debacle.
Yeah. Well, it's because, there's 2 men competing.
There's a guy in an Austin Powers outfit screaming, "She's a man, baby." No. That'd be a hilarious way to protest.
Yeah. Do you think whoever loses is more transgender?
Like
the winner is more manly? Do you think someone secretly you want to lose that because you go I'm less of a woman if I win?
Yeah, right. Because you're the man has an advantage, and you're like, I guess I'll lose.
I guess they're just like all fucking just hitting the ball off the table, like none of them can touch the ball. Goes, I don't know, I'm such a woman, right? Just fucking just destroy the table with the cue. Just
well, the ladies already added always. Of course, obviously, I love. Yeah, she wants to do the post game and be like, well, yeah, I was competing against a man.
I mean, I'm a woman. Obviously, I lost to a man. So
whereas me, I'm actually a woman.
Yeah,
and this
I'm
one,
really a woman.
Look at this one's got stubble.
See how many times I missed the ball, the cue ball. I just couldn't hit it.
Well, yeah, I have dainty Reuben figures where this fucking manly beast over here.
Yeah, it's like Buddy over here was making shots. I was putting chalk as eyeliner. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what it's
doing
like.
Women shit. I don't know.
Yeah, me and women are playing against this man. That's funny. Protesters shouted, "He's a man," and we stand with Lynn Pinches. So Lynn Pinches was, I guess, probably the person who came third.
Yeah.
Podium.
Yeah.
Held up banners saying "Save women's sports." He's a man. Although Lynn Pinches, as you've noticed, for Lynn Pinches, a little note for Pinches. There is money to be made in being the girl that got beat by the trans people.
Oh yeah. You can go show Daily Wire.
There's probably I can't even
Riley
keep track
Gaines.
of them. Yeah, but it's not just Riley Gaines anymore. There's 10 of them.
Yeah,
and they all have they're all kind of influencers, I guess.
Yeah.
So there is more there's almost more money to be made in being the girl that got dummied by a dude.
Then the Ipswich Pool Open, female pool open.
Yes. I'm
Grand prize 400 pounds and a chippy shop coupon. I think so.
I think what they actually win was the pool cue. They open up the thing and it's a pool cue.
Yeah.
And then they're
another pool cue.
It's not even that. You pull it out and you're just like, oh, it's the half. It's just the half that you screw in the bottom.
Yeah, you got the base.
It's like a really high-end chalk thing. That's what they get for their winning thing.
Yeah,
so I think there's more money to made for Lynn Pinches actually being
Absolutely. And here's the thing. It's like if you love pool and you're like, this is kind of bullshit. I mean, the thing is it's back to the boxing where you're like, it's like once there's 2 intersex people winning gold medals, you go, maybe time to reevaluate some stuff.
They won't think that, man. Their brains are totally
By the way,
fried.
the people who support this, is just, you're getting, if you support this is the reason why all this stuff is going on with the world with Trump.
Everything.
Literally, this is like directly tied into
I know.
Like, you could just...
It's probably the biggest one.
I honestly think like there's some scenario where like Trump actually like destroys the world, and then it's like a Back to the Future scenario where like it's like Doc and you have to go back to just like 2014 and you go, hey, we can't do this. No men playing in women's sports. I'm telling you, the fate of civilization rests on this. I know it sounds crazy.
My portfolio.
But we're going to be living in fucking potato sacks underground. Please, I beg of you, do not do this.
That's so true. Did you go back to kill Hitler? No, I went back to
stop men playing
stop
women's
the first
sports.
trans person to enter the Olympics.
Yeah, you know this. Telling you, is all.
You don't actually realize how many ramifications of this.
You know what's the issue? You go, everybody's gonna say this is okay, and then everything goes to shit from there.
It did.
Yeah.
So I think Pinches is going to be okay though, because Pinches might actually be
Base to the Future.
Shit, that's so true. Yeah, just they go and like you go back to the like French university and you rip up their paper about how there's no such thing as a boy or a girl.
Yeah, exactly. And you go, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And you go, "I'm telling you, the fate of humanity rests on this."
Put your fucking hands off me, frog. You're about to ruin the world. Yeah, I just like to hypothesize about
open with sexuality. Take it in the pooper.
You're not understanding me.
You're a man. You like women. I go, sometimes I do, but
we do not discriminate.
A hole is a hole.
Look at me, Pierre. You value your portfolio.
Hey, man, I'm telling you, if shit goes down, it'll just be because of that.
You know how with the stock market, one of the big things is that they're bringing back manufacturing.
Yep.
That is the big idea with tariffs, and people are going to get their factory jobs again. But the problem they're missing is the deal before, because there's an idea that it was better before. Mm-hmm. However, the old deal, it wasn't just the factory job, right? Yeah. They go, these people had jobs. Yes. There's a lot of people that are, passed out on the side of the road on opioid.
Yep.
Because they don't have jobs and their town turned to Detroit and all this sort of stuff. However, it's not just the job. You used to have your factory job. You'd go in, you work, and yes, it wasn't a great job. You're hanging out with the boys. However, afterwards, you go home, and then you beat your wife.
I was actually going to say that. I go, if manufacturing comes back, does wife beating come back?
It's funny how you were also going to say that. Both of us.
Literally, I go,
will they get?
Will we be allowed to beat our wives again? I'll gladly go work in a factory assembling widgets, as long as there's maybe a little compensation.
You get to beat your kids. I'd like to be able to get a prostitute without.
Can I put a cigarette out on my son's arm?
Hey, is it not fair to say that these things were part and parcel?
Hey, I thought we were making America great again.
Right.
Again is the operative thing.
And they're sort of saying you just get the bad part, which is the job. You're like, no. The job was the thing where it's like, no, I make $40,000 a year now, which is actually pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I put food on this table. Uh-huh. We have a house.
Son, cut a switch.
You come home, there's food made. They want to put you and your wife in the factory. You go, so I'm at a factory and I don't even get my fucking meals made for me?
Yeah, and you go, and if I beat her up at work, that's an HR violation.
Oh, it's an HR violation. I can't even be racist.
No, hell no.
If you're going to say, guy gets to work, he's working there punching widgets, you go, at the very least, I could fucking drop a slur or two.
Yeah, imagine like the factories come back, you go, I finally got my factory back. Where's the other water fountain? What the fuck? There's only one water fountain here? What the hell's going on?
So, in my opinion, I think you can't, it's love and marriage. You can't have one without the other.
Absolutely. I wholeheartily agree here.
If you're going to give the guys back their factory job, you're going to also have to really put a stop. You're going to have to let them,
we're going to have to
give them the benefits.
We're going to have to lighten up a little on some other things, okay? We're going to have to be a little more accepting. We're going to have to be a little more accepting of alternative lifestyles, if you will.
Yes.
If you will.
That's the alternative lifestyle. Kick the shit out of people.
Correct.
Racist.
Hey, we're accepting of all sorts of other alternative lifestyles. Why not this one?
Exactly. And if you're just going to give the guy the factory job, that's not enough. You're going to have, if you want him to go back, it was the pride that came with, I go home, my wife's happy because I'm fucking,
My kids are scared of me.
my kids are petrified.
You know how proudful I am? You know how big of a man I feel when I come home?
I feel like a big
and my
man.
children hide from me?
You're right. They're giving them the factory job, but they're not giving them the number one benefit of feeling like a big man.
Son, put the batteries in the sock.
You can't even raise your hand. Put your belt. You can't take the belt out. Come on.
No.
Well, okay. Well,
No, I work at a goddamn belt factory.
I work at a belt factory punching holes.
Yeah. Assembling belts.
15-minute break.
What am I supposed to do with this? Keep my fucking pants up? No, thank you.
And then I gotta come home to my son being like, I'm actually your daughter. And it's not gonna fly.
No, we're not doing that anymore.
You're gonna have to let him be also.
Look, and if you're a Trump voter and you don't like what we're saying right now, should have voted for Kamala. Kamala wouldn't have beat your kids. You did this.
If you don't like the idea.
Elections have consequences, children.
Exactly. If you're a child that didn't want this to happen.
Should have told your parents to vote for Kamala.
If you want to really make America great again, you got to give them the full kit and caboodle. You can't just give them the fucking crappy job.
No, you have to give them the full lifestyle.
You have to give them the lifestyle. You have to give them the pride.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, you have to give him the work boot that, you know what I mean? If there's an immigrant on his porch, maybe that boot ends up.
Yeah, up his ass.
That's what the immigrant wants to hope it ends up his ass, because there's worse places that boot could end up, I'll tell you what.
That's true. That is true. But yeah, this is the new world that we're going to get. Apparently. I mean, fucking Trump's fucking giving the screws to China.
He deported your 401k is what he did.
It's more like a 201k. What do you need a 101k for?
I have some funny things I wanted. I was looking up all the recession indicators of how you notice if things are going bad. But so much has been going on with, we're talking, we're up, we're down. One tweet, he's moving the markets like it's a shit
This
coin.
is me the whole time. Oh! There's just some fucking photos like they do at the roller coaster of you just watching. Like you should have a your front
Danny
face
on the stock market.
your front facing camera just takes a photo of you looking at your portfolio. You're like, oh!
You can buy it for $5. Would you like to buy this photo?
Yeah, would you like to buy it? In this economy? Are you kidding? Look at my goddamn portfolio. Oh, he just tweeted. Yeah.
Oh,
We're back. Little do you know, you're just at the top when it stalls and you go, oh, this is nice.
yeah. That's you on the stock market. That's your 401k right now.
Everybody.
Trump's when his Twitter fingers turn to trigger fingers, though.
Yeah. Oh.
They move markets.
Oh yeah, dude.
You're gonna be reading that in the, when it's 10,000 years from now, and they've finally taken over, and then the Trump Bible is the only they've replaced the Bible with Art of the Deal, and they have the extra passage, whereas the man could move mountains with his single tweet.
Yeah, I mean, he did enough damage.
But the reason I was gonna say is I feel like you would probably have an opinion on this.
Sure.
So where are you at with things?
Well, I mean, so the Trump rollout of the tariffs was an absolute disaster. Like, I mean, this is not like, if you base it off of that paper that I was referencing before, which has been like basically the guidelines for everything they were doing, their whole guideline was like, we're doing the tariffs slowly and incrementally, right? It's not like fucking dropping a nuke and just going full steam ahead.
Well, they're sort of more doing them randomly.
Well, randomly. First off, it's like when he had his little fucking list out of all the countries that were getting tariffs, you're like, those aren't the tariffs they charge. Those are the trade imbalances, right? So like, I was talking like Laos has they go 95% tariffs on Laos. And you go, Laos doesn't have 95% tariffs on the United States. Laos is one of the poorest countries in the world. They export more than they import because they make the average wages in Laos are $2,150 a year, right? Obviously, they cannot like have a an equal trade balance.
Can't buy anything.
It's impossible for them to have an equal trade balance with the United States. They just don't make enough money. Like the average salary in the United States is probably what, like 35,000 or something, like 40,000. I don't know, in that range. Like it's.
Well, we're like, well, guess what, Laos? It's gonna be bad news for you unless you start buying Chevys.
Yeah, exactly. And then and with the cars thing, and like fucking Stephen Miller was like, yeah, look at all these countries like Japan and Europe. They're like we export. They export like $40 billion. Japan exports $40 billion worth of cars to America, and they have their markets closed to us. You're like, your cars suck. What are you talking about? Nobody wants American cars. Like, obviously the trucks are good, Teslas are good, but like unless something changed since I last owned a car 6 years ago, I was under the impression like a Ford car is a piece of shit.
Okay, I'm not a big car guy to have an opinion on that.
Okay, well, I'm pretty certain. Fords are not good cars. They make great trucks, but like the cars are dog shit. Right?
Well, I just saw someone tweeted today, you're watching Art of the Deal happen in real time.
Bullshit. It's honestly...
Danny doesn't understand 6D chess, man. He understands fucking 1D in his mouth because he doesn't get it.
The whole point of the tariffs was the goal was to make the 10-year yield come down so they can refinance their debt and to drop the dollar. And then when all this tariff stuff, because it got rolled out so poorly, everyone was selling everything. Like the stock market, gold... bonds are not all supposed to go down. Crypto's different, but like those three.
No, but it's supposed to some degree move not the same. It always
but like bonds and stocks are supposed to move in the opposite direction because the theory is that like when you sell bonds, yields go up, and when you buy bonds, yields go down. So yields should have been going down as people move, they sell their stocks and they buy the safe thing, right? Like that's how it historically works.
Is that because China's selling bonds?
No, I don't think China, there's no evidence that China's selling bonds. What's going on is everybody's like, we don't know what's going on. We don't want to own anything.
I want to have cash.
We want cash. Right. And that's not how this was supposed to play out. Like, even like the guy who wrote that paper, there's this guy who was like, basically he's worked with and was cited like, 20 times in the paper. His name is Nouriel Rubini. He's colloquially named Dr. Doom because he's like always like fucking dooming about the stock market and everything. He was on Twitter being like, Trump's fucking delusional. And this is like the guy's boy. Like this is like the guy, Stephen Mirren's like boy. And he's like, Trump's delusional. Like Stephen Mirren like wanted, if on a scale of 1 to 10, like these tariffs should have come out at a 3. Trump just went straight to 10. Right. So he fucked everything up. He just like stepped on the gas way too early. Now he's paring it back. He's being like art of the deal. But you're like, no, this isn't art of the deal. You were like, we were about to see like a fucking depression if you just were going to be stubborn about this. So thankfully he was able to at least be like, yeah, 90-day pause. But for example, like the stock market's up today, bonds, like we in our group chat, it's like they're flat. So which means that people aren't actually back to buying them, which you would kind of see, or I guess selling them. Sorry. So, I honestly, we're not done with this shit. This isn't like just because the stock market's up 10% today.
Yeah, I felt that way too.
Yeah, we're at the top of the roller. We're paused at the top of the roller coaster, but shit's coming, man.
Well, there is a lot,
dude. 130% tariffs on China, and China, dude, like China, this might start a war. Like China might go invade Taiwan right now to be like, fuck you guys. We've wanted to invade Taiwan. We're going to go invade Taiwan, which we've wanted to do anyways because it's ours. And we're going to shut you off from all the fucking chips that they manufacture. How do you like your fucking Studio Ghibli memes now? So, I don't know. Like, I mean, dude, it's again, second, third, fourth order effects. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who the fuck knows? But you're like, and Trump doesn't know.
So you're not of the mind that this is 8D chess?
No. No. This is checkers. We've been relegated to checkers.
Danny doesn't know how to trust the plan, and that's always been his problem.
The thing is, I did trust the plan. I actually was very bullish on the plan of the original plan, and then I find out that Trump's kind of going rogue on the plan.
I started a factory. Did you not start one?
No, I haven't started a factory.
Well, that's your problem.
Yeah.
You're not.
Oh, well, here's your problem is all the fucking equipment comes from China. So all your equipment costs twice as much right now.
You don't know what my factory does, so I actually didn't. I actually don't need equipment.
Yeah.
It's a meme factory. That's the part you didn't realize.
Yeah, what do you use? GPUs for that, Ryan? Good luck.
We draw them. No, we draw them and we scan them on a HP.
Okay.
Made in Delaware.
Yeah.
And we scan the memes up. We haven't figured out our profit structure.
No.
But right now we have 9 people scanning memes.
Scanning memes. And just...
Yeah, none of our accounts are monetized, and we haven't actually digitized any of the memes yet.
You're going to want to digitize
Well, yes,
them.
we just started the factory. It takes time, Danny. I don't know if you know if this stuff happens overnight.
That's where the money's at.
I have a meme factory in Delaware. What do you want me to tell you?
I mean, I would...
See, this is the problem, though. He says he's like, I'm going to bring back American jobs. We're going to start factories. I did that. Whereas Danny sat here in his digital world, you know. Prizepicks is the best place to get real money sports action with over 10 million members, billions of dollars in awarded winnings. Prizepicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. You can run your game all season long on Prizepicks. It is spring. Baseball season's underway. We almost went to a game last night.
Yeah, we did. We got
rained out.
Yeah, it was bad weather.
And then on top of that, Masters is happening.
Masters this weekend, baby.
I know, that's why. That's why Tiger's been out and about in the mix.
Yes, he has. Not playing, though. But
Pacman. So baseball's officially underway. Don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from the diamond in your Prizepicks lineups. So with baseball, don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from the diamond in your Prizepicks lineup. Whether we're talking strikeouts, RBIs, first inning runs, take your pick of more or less for your shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash today. On Prizepicks, you can mix and match player projections from different sports, combine your favorite baseball players with players from basketball, hockey, esports, and much more. Prizepicks offers Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more quick and easy deposits into your account this season.
Prizepicks is super easy to use. You can make your picks in literally under 60 seconds. And for this week, my picks are Aaron Judge of the New York Yankees for more than 1 home run, and Tyler Glasnow for more than 4 hits allowed. And I also got Shohei Ohtani for more than 1 home run. And we're going to go to the Masters. I got John Rahm for less than 71 strokes in the first round.
Download the app today. Use the code BOYSCAST to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Again, that is the code BOYSCAST to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prizepicks, run your game. Meundies is the underwear that's got style for everyone, from all black classics to fun, expressive prints. Meundies is a look for everyone. Plus, they come in all sizes, XS, 4XL, guaranteeing a flattering cut for your body. Because the thing about being a guy is, listen, we're kind of stuck with what we got appearance-wise. Sure, you hit the gym. You can't put on makeup. You can't do yourself up like a clown to look like something that you're not, right? So what is the push-up bra for a guy? Well, it's a good pair of underwear.
Yep.
And I'm sure that everyone's been in that situation where you put a pair of underwear on, I'm looking a little sloppy
and you're
right now.
feeling better too, man.
Well, then that's the other side. You put on a good pair of underwear and you say, nice.
Yeah, it's not like bunching up and you go, you're like, what is going on here?
You say, nice. That's the dude version. Finally, Meundies is unveiling their latest gifts that help men feel packin'. We're talking about the contoured pouch and ball caddy, the micromodal sling that helps things keep separated and also lifted up. 9 out of 10 women say this sophisticated brief technology will make you look nice. And that's all that matters, right, fellas? They got versatile loungewear. Meundies isn't just about underwear. You can explore the lounge collection. We're talking joggers, hoodies, onesies, and more. Unmatched comfort, responsibly sourced with a problem-free philosophy. If you're not happy with your first pair of undies, it's on Meundies. So, good things come in big packages at Meundies, and you can get 20% off your first order plus free shipping on orders of $75 or more at Meundies.com/boyscast. You just enter the promo code BOYSCAST. That's Meundies.com/boyscast with the code BOYSCAST for 20% off. Meundies, comfort from the outside in.
Yeah, I don't know. The idea of bringing back jobs is good, but again, I'm like, are Americans best off going and working in a garment factory?
Yes.
Is that
your wife should be working in a garment factory? That's it.
I love it. If anything to get her out of the house, to be honest.
These should be it should be mandatory.
14 hours at a sweltering sewing machine.
Not only should they be working in a garment factory, it should be mandatory. You know, like in Israel, they make everyone do 2 years mandatory in the IDF, and some other countries do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Every woman should have to do 2 years mandatory in a garment factory.
Preach, brother!
So she comes out and she knows how good she got it.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Now we're talking. Trump doesn't have the fucking cojones to say that, though.
Say that, yes, it's mandatory 2 years in a garment factory. You come home, you go, do you want to go back to the fucking gulag garment factory?
Is that the future? Is she goes to the garment factory, you go to the meme factory?
I go to the meme factory.
She goes, how did the memes go? You go, I did a pretty good when she nuts, but you keep sucking.
Her hands are just so callousy, giving you a hand job. I pricked my hands a lot of times.
Ow.
My boss has been sexually harassing me. And then you got to go fight the guy.
Yeah, you got to go beat the shit out of him. Good old days, baby.
You're messing with meme money.
Break a bottle.
I break a bottle. Like, I could fucking buy your whole garment factory with my meme money, pal.
Meme money? Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, the manufacturing thing seems great on paper. I agree. Like, they do need to onshore certain like commodity. You know, like the steel and aluminum shit, where they're like, this is an actual like national defense issue, like national security issue. I actually do fully agree with that. I'm like, yeah, you can't like you need to make your raw materials here, because if shit pops off and you're like, we rely on another country. And then for some reason something happens, you go, yeah, we just don't have steel.
Their country has their wives.
Yeah, and then we don't have steel and aluminum. And they goes, I guess we got to go invade Canada. Yeah, which apparently Canada's actually didn't avoid the tariff pause, because Canada and China were the only two countries that retaliated.
Woo!
Yeah, so it seems like Canada probably actually did not avoid the tariff pause. Even though it's not really a pause, but it's still just 10% blanket tariff, which should have just been the original thing he did. It would have caused way less chaos if he's just like 10% on the world, and whatever you want to do with China, go nuts, because China has been fucking around, and it is time for them to find out. I agree with that, but the problem is they're pretty fucking crazy in China too. Like they're saying they're also loco. Well, their whole thing is they want to be the number one economy. They're number two. They have like little brother syndrome.
Yeah.
Right? And they don't, what little brother likes getting bullied around by the big brother?
Asian guys don't like getting bumped around either.
No. Kind of small dick energy, China.
Asian guys, I do find that Asian guys don't like to be disrespected.
No.
Do you know what I mean? There is a very specific type of, yeah, I'm trying to think. I think a lot of like, I feel like I'm the opposite of that. Like, where if I get like someone bumps me in a bar, like I'm the most just like,
yeah.
Oh, sorry. Like, I just don't have a lot of like, you know how they talk about like honor cultures,
yeah.
like the Irish pride sort of thing. Like, you can't be disrespected. I don't even notice if I'm disrespected.
No.
Like you don't have that
Water
either.
off my back, man.
Well, I don't even notice it. Someone's like, you're going to disrespect me? And I'm like, what happened?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't even like register to me.
Register.
Like someone stepped on my shoe or like looked at my girl.
I mean, some people
none of that stuff. Just I'm not like wired like that.
Some
to
people
care.
are just looking for fucking problems all the time, you know?
I very much none of the like, I got to put my foot down to like make a statement.
Yeah, of course. Hell no. Fuck no. No, I'm not.
I don't do things I don't want to
do. Again, in China, they only care about China.
That was the moral of my story.
Communists.
Like, Asian guys don't like to be bumped
here's the
around.
thing. The difference between China is like, if they need to starve 100 million people to death to get to their goals, they'll do that happily. Mm-hmm. And they'll do it with a smile on their face. Whereas at least America won't do that. Like, at least America goes, yeah, right, we've gone too far here. Maybe Congress needs to step in. There's no Congress in China. There's just fucking, there's the ruling elites there, and they all do whatever they do. And
hard to fight with a man who's willing to kill all his people, you're saying?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, and he is. He's legitimately willing to just kill them all.
You're right, because he's the guy that you're just like, I have your wife hostage. What are you going to do? And he walks in and shoots her.
Shoots her.
Now what?
Yeah, now what? Exactly. He goes, I can get more wives. Thanks very much. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, you shot wife number 74. I didn't give two shits.
I have a harem. You'll be happy to learn. She was kind of an annoying
Thank you. You did both of us a favor. Now what?
Yeah, so anyways, we'll see how this plays out. But yeah, the 25% tariffs on China.
I like to pay attention to recession indicators just because they're funny. Like, it's sort of a topic, but in my normal life, I'm always kind of saying like recession indicator. Mm-hmm. So I actually did like a deep dive on like what they all are and stuff like that. So the first one, and this is one thing I noticed in my normal life, is one recession indicator is that people start going back to school to get another degree.
Yeah. So apparently the law school enrollments are apparently like
they go up.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, I can be a lawyer.
I can be a lawyer. You go, yeah, anybody can be a lawyer. They're scum.
Yes, they're dirt.
Yeah, we know.
Professional scam artists, literally.
Literally, who's gonna, again,
You know what you are?
The AI factor is going to replace.
You ever
a lot
had
of
someone? Remember when we used to be at Imperial Imperial Pub, and then people used to get mad at me because whenever you get fries, I'll just come and take it too.
Yeah, you're a bit of a hyena.
Yeah, and I used to say when Danny eats, the whole crew eats.
Yeah,
and that's So anytime anyone had fries, I would come and take a couple off the top, and I'd say that I'm the poison tester. I never said poison tester.
Ryan was terrifying us. Ryan was the OG terrifier.
I was the OG terrifier. I was like, yes, and you just sort of shave a little off. You know, that's what a lawyer
Ryan
is.
was the tax man.
That's what
Ryan the tax man.
But that's also what a lawyer is.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
A lawyer's that being like, oh, you guys are doing a little deal here? Like, oh, I need a test.
I'd hate to see if somebody left out a word in your document. I wouldn't want to do that. That'll be $1,400 an hour, please.
Yeah. You're the guy. The lawyer is you're getting head, and then the lawyer has to come in and move your dick and put his dick in for 2 pumps, and then he leaves.
Yeah, I don't know what a scummier. What's
was
the
that?
scummier profession? Lawyer or tow truck driver?
Why is tow truck? Oh, you're saying ambulance chasing tow truck drivers.
Yeah, well, they're all ambulance chasers for the most part. Dude, you know, like
they're both the same, but tow trucks have to be. They have to be more in your face about how their scumminess.
Do you know the craziness of the tow trucks in Toronto? How like they're all like killing each other and stuff.
Yeah, we had a buddy that when I was growing up, his stepdad was a tow truck driver.
They all like shoot each other and shit. They're like gangs.
Well, yeah,
they're like legitimately like they like kill each other over like territory beefs.
Well, the territory beefs are big because you show up and you're just like, oh, here we go. We got another.
Yeah, this is fucking my stretch of the 401, bud. Get fucking back to Pickering, pal.
And then he leaves and he turns on, we're all stars now at the tow show. Yeah. So I know. And I remember that I used to get in crashes a lot with our band van, right? We almost died 4,000 times.
Yeah.
One time jackknifed the fucking trailer on the Colorado Rocky stretch.
Scary.
Just goes, whoosh, we spin out, our tire falls off, and we're just like, all right. Well, fucking, I guess we'll get a tow truck driver to take his thing. We're freezing to death. The AC doesn't even, or the heat doesn't even work in this thing anymore. So the tow truck drivers, we used to have, I remember we had a big crash in like an actual intersection where we got like jackknifed, or probably we jackknifed someone.
Yeah. Yeah. Come on.
Fellas.
Come on.
And there was a fight with the tow truck drivers there.
Yeah.
In Pickering Village.
Yeah, there you go. Dude, no.
It was the intersection at Church Street and
yeah, dude,
Highway 2.
they're crazy, man, because it's fucking big money because it's such a racket, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, you get your tow. I remember getting my car towed in Toronto, and they're like, you get the ticket, and then you go, they're like I remember one time I was like 10 feet away from it as it was driving away. I'm like, where's my car going? They're like, oh, it's going to this like impound lot and like you know, around Danforth, like northeast area of like Toronto.
Bye.
You go pick it up and they're like, yeah, the tow fee was essentially the way it works is they're like the impound fee is like $150 and then it's like $80 an hour up until $240. So you're just like basically but it's like $240 like a day or something.
$240 a day,
but then they get it in 3 hours. It's not like per hour. It's literally like the full day's of value goes in 3 hours.
Danny, my car got towed when I was on a 2-week tour. Oof. And I came back and it was $2,100.
Yeah, you gotta keep it. Oof.
Yeah, for most cars.
Yeah, for like a lot of cars, you're just like, I guess you own my car.
Yeah, but the problem is that's not how it works.
Yeah,
because they go, okay, well, it's $3,000 tomorrow and it's $4,000 tomorrow, and we're gonna credit check you on this.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
It's not just that simple.
They're no wonder they're fucking
scumbags. So lawyers are that.
Yeah,
is the moral of the story. They
recession indicators. That's what we're talking about.
I mean, real shame. And then they've got the best scam in the world because then you get a lawyer. It's legitimately like if two English people went to fucking Japan where no one speaks English and they go, hey, all the contracts have to do in English, so you need an English guy and I need an English guy.
And they all write the legal code, so then they all just write it at the benefit of other lawyers.
They go, I'm just trying to do a deal that it's like I give this guy $5, he gives me this, and you're like, oh, I wish it was that simple.
Yeah, I wish you could do that.
I wish it was that simple.
You know about tort law?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to end up in jail.
Yeah.
So yes, I agree with you that people going back to law school is a scam. Mm-hmm. But I'll tell you what, there is a lot of smart people I know that went to law school that are not lawyers.
Yeah.
Because it makes you think.
It makes you think.
Good debaters always.
Absolutely.
Like a lot of good debaters are lawyers.
It is a good skill.
But It's sort of an annoying skill too. If you're ever friends with someone that fucking acts like a lawyer, you're just like, can you be a human for 2 seconds? You know what I mean?
Human. Webster's dictionary defines human as shut up.
It's just always debate mode with these people. Well, technically, they can become the technically. Well, actually. But the useless degrees, especially, I've noticed 3 or 4 people in my normal life that were going back to school. We're not talking fucking 14-year-olds here, pal.
Trades? Nobody's going to trades?
Some people are doing that too. I just don't know. Who do you think I'm friends with, pal?
Yeah, that's a smart move.
What do you think my circle looks like? You know any trades?
Yeah.
Who do you know?
Our buddy who we went to Guelph with, literally, like, he has the same degree as me and you, or whatever, the economics. And
No, I know people from home.
But like
all my friends in America
Oh,
are
in America.
Canadian.
No, in America, no.
You know, all my friends in America are not that. But
Yeah. They're bugmen.
I know probably 3 or 4 people that have went back to school. You know what the funny part is too? I was kind of thinking is like the girls, the going back to school when you're an adult. It is a very much like an abusive boyfriend situation where you're just like, I did a degree, I spent $100,000, I come out, they go, you can't get any good jobs with that. You're like, I need more.
Yes.
Like, it really is the ultimate. You know what? It would be like this. If you're a guy that your wife's really crazy and she's like an alcoholic and you're like, you know what we need is a kid. Like,
That'll settle her down.
yeah, and you're like, that'll be the situation. I'll get it. I just need more things and that'll solve it. And you go, I remember my grandmother, she had a kid and she kind of stopped drinking and settled down. And you go, this isn't your grandmother's generation. 9 more degrees ain't helping.
No, she's on pills.
Yeah.
Was your grandmother on pills? She Xanax every day?
Yes, your grandmother is fucking not doing MDMA at a DJ event.
No.
So that's the guy being like, the problem is we need more.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit like that where you're just like, I'm in $100,000 of debt for a fucking useless BA. And
What's
you're
another
like,
hundo?
yeah, I need to double down on this.
Yeah. I agree.
Sunk cost to the max, but that's a big recession indicator.
Interesting.
People start going back to school. Some of those are like a little obvious, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
One of them, they said everyone starts a side hustle. Have you noticed anyone doing side hustles lately?
Those seem quite popular.
I mean, in the next recession, the side hustles are going to be like Dog the Bounty Hunter shit. You know what I mean? It's going to be like
Dog the tariff bounty hunter, actually.
Immigrant hunter.
Well, there's the ICE thing, but they don't give money. But I just found out today with the whole tariffs thing, I saw this guy, Ryan something, he runs this company called Flexport, and they're this giant importer company, like logistics, and he basically said that I think it's DHS, Department of Homeland Security, if you report people who skirt their tariffs, there's a bounty of 10%.
So that's kind of going to be the dog the tariff hunter.
Literally Dog the Tariff Hunter. You get 10% back of all tariffs that you catch.
So there's going to be a guy working at his meme factory, and then he's going to have to take a 40-hour-a-week side hustle, and it's going to be like, no days off.
Basically just tracking down people who are skirting the tariffs.
Kids, are you trying to get rich? Tariff hunting? Yeah.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of YouTube channels
man.
telling you how to make money tariff
that
hunting.
wasn't a viable job 3 days ago.
And that's in America. In UK,
Yeah.
when the markets are crashing in the UK, your only thing is going to be like reporting people for verbal crimes.
And swords.
Reporting people for swords and verbal crimes. Like literally, people are going to be going up to the UK and they're just going to be like, excuse me, Mr. Starmer? Uh-huh. It's like, my neighbor said the N-word, and he's going to be like, oh, I guess we'll arrest him. Here's your $20. And the guy goes, buys his bread for his family.
20 quid?
20 quid? 20 quid, governor. All right. That's about 15 quid.
Yeah, so that's not bad.
So that's how you...
I mean, I will tell you not a recession indicator is I just booked a trip to Vegas next month to go see The Dead, and it was very much normal prices or higher for everything.
Danny.
Vegas gets killed during a recession.
Danny.
Daniel.
I would expect that Daniel knew a bit better than this, but one thing that you would probably know about recession indicators, I thought you'd know. I guess I'm finding out that you don't. But, okay, for example, high-end stuff like Gucci stays the same. Mid stuff gets killed.
I understand.
Okay,
But
Grateful Dead
No, but flights-
are considered necessities
it is to fucking
for the community. So they're considered.
Yes, but Vegas
to be
gets. But I'm not staying at fucking
Oh, yeah?
crazy Vegas hotel.
Do you? think that anyone that's like your Jewish Grateful Dead fans
Yeah.
are like looking at the economy being like, all right, we need to make some cuts. Like obviously
Jewish ones?
You go, obviously the Grateful Dead's gonna go. Like that is so low on the list. I think if
I'm telling you,
some of these
Vegas
people,
is a recession.
their wife is like, they'll be living in a box before their dead tickets get cut.
Some people, yes, but I'm telling you, Vegas historically, like during a recession, gets hit hard.
Not
'Cause
Grateful
it's-
Dead tickets.
Not the tickets. I'm not talking about specifically the tickets.
What
I'm
are you
talking about
talking
the
about?
flights, the hotels. Like that stuff is normal prices or even higher than normal. And
Well, you thought that Vegas tickets would be cheaper?
I thought the flights and because people are like, we're not going to do our Vegas trip this year because the economy's rough. It's like they do skip those things and demand for flights.
They just
goes
do less
down.
flights, though.
I did notice my
They
flights.
take the supply out, though. Airports like control for that because they're just like,
but hotels don't. Hotels just like.
Well, you keep changing your thing.
I'm not
every
changing my
second.
thing. The flights are more than normal and like not substantially.
That's short term. Over the long term, hotels start to lower their prices. In the short term, hotels go, you know what? We'll have empty rooms rather because it's actually better for us to have empty rooms.
Yeah, they don't want to. They don't want to fire sale their thing
because the amount of people that's coming is the amount of people that's coming.
Yeah.
So they're not. Most people aren't like, oh, hotels are 5% cheaper. Let me go to Vegas. So most people just keep them.
That's also an indicator too. The hotels, specifically in Vegas, of like because everybody's like, oh yeah, people aren't coming to America because of Trump's like all the border shit and deportations, and everybody's like, because tons of shit's coming out of Canada, being like, yeah, if you go to Canada, they're gonna, or if you go to America from Canada, they're gonna fucking lock you in a cage, like literally like Globe and Mail's like, yeah, don't go to America, they're gonna fucking put you. They're gonna put you in a cage. Everybody, people are going.
They go, if you're trans, you're gonna be forced into a ring. You're like, no, I'm not forced into a ring. They let me into that ring.
They
to
encourage
fight
me
women
to go in that ring.
Yeah, they are talking about it like you're gonna be on like a treadmill with just like a thing of maple syrup in front of you, like and all these bad things are gonna happen.
Things, yeah.
But no, the high end stuff, which is Grateful Dead tickets,
Grateful Dead
fancy hotel wherever you're staying, fancy boy.
Yeah,
those things don't get hit. It's the trip to friggin' the fat people, like cruises, the fat people, middle America trips get hit.
Sure.
Not your fancy boy Upper West Side Jewish trips.
I live in Long Island City.
Literally Grateful Dead people, it's probably like they would actually be like sucking dick in a corner before they cut their Grateful Dead tickets.
They got a new fucking whole video thing for the Sphere this year. It looks pretty sick.
What plays on there?
It's the Sphere. It's for the Dead shows, like because the Sphere is like it's all the whole thing.
Yeah, that's gonna
or whatever.
be nuts. Eh?
Oh, that's gonna be crazy. I'm so pumped.
Yeah, people will like that. That's pretty cool for them to play at.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a perfect band for that.
Oh, it's the best. I haven't been there, but everybody says, and I'm worried that Bob Weir's going to die, and then they're going to stop doing it. So I got to get in there because they're all fucking 80.
That's what everyone's thinking. We have no choice. You've been saying that for 10 years.
I've never been. I've only been doing it for 2 years, but I'm just like, man, clock's ticking. It's like real.
Who sings? Mayor?
Mayor, yeah.
Okay.
And Bob Weir.
So that's another one. Everyone's starting a side hustle, which is definitely you've seen an uptick of.
Yeah.
We've seen more useless degrees. Everyone's starting a side hustle. Multi-generational housing spikes. People move back in with their parents.
Yep.
Have you seen any of that? I don't know if I've seen any of those.
Not personally, no, but
Frugal trends, thrifting.
hey, man, I've been doing that.
Yeah, me too.
Frugal, man.
I'm fairly frugal.
I'm quite frugal.
Yeah, so frugal trends.
But my wife fully offsets.
No,
it.
but you have seen a lot of that, like girls saying they're like, oh, we need to like clean makeup and like, like that has been a little bit true. And then lastly, let them tell me if you've seen this, a spike in religious interest.
Oh.
So they say basically everyone becomes Muslim in a recession. Have you noticed more Muslims in
Being
any
Muslim
countries?
is recession proof.
Have you noticed more Muslims than Christians?
Interesting.
You know what?
Seems like the UK's been in a deep recession.
That's what I'm thinking.
Decades-long recession.
You go, there's more religious people.
The UK's been going through it.
They definitely have.
I mean, the unemployment rate in Canada right now is like 7%. It's crazy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Bad
Yeah.
news. Vote Mark Carney. Fucking idiots.
Fucking idiots.
Enjoy more of your misery, you fucking retards. He's going to win, too.
Yeah.
79% chance on polymarket right
Yeah,
now.
it does
It's
seem
over.
like it. Do you think that Muslim is, okay, if you were to say like Muslims, Christians, and the different religions, Muslims is sort of like the alpha male of religions. And I don't mean the alpha, I mean the alpha male content of religions.
yeah.
And that it's very, Muslim is very much like fasting for 30 days.
Sure, yeah.
You know, no days off.
No days off. No days off for Ramadan, baby.
No days off. You know, all that sort of stuff. Like, praying 5 times a day, very lot.
It's
you know
pretty
what I
alpha
mean?
male to just kind of wherever you are in the world, just
5
know where
times
Mecca
a day.
is.
You always have to know where Mecca
You
is.
just literally go to that way.
So you're praying 5 times a day, no days off. Y'all sleeping, I'm praying.
Yep.
And then Christian, in my opinion, is sort of like therapy TikTok. It's sort of like the therapy, like it's very, you know, the Lord loves me. I feel seen and heard a little
You're
bit.
a little gay there.
Well, if I'm being honest, I'm not religious, but I've obviously been to churches a lot of times in my life.
Yeah.
Probably like,
Pretty
you know.
gay?
Well, the pastors are all a little low T in those places.
Yeah, for sure. They're all Ned Flanders.
They're all Ned Flanders, yeah. The Christian priests are all a little like,
Yeah, there's no base one.
they're all like, they all do seem a little like fucking low T fruity.
Yeah, if I ever was like, you have to become Christian and go to a church, I'm going to one of those sick black churches where they all play like
Well, the black ones aren't as
pedal
much.
steel
Yeah.
guitars
well,
and shit.
The black churches all have like the pastor that's just like getting it in, where he's just like
Yeah.
fucking everyone's wives.
That's what I want. I want like the fucking huge band, like sick band.
Yeah, those are
Every
cool.
Sunday.
And I'm sure there's some different ones.
Dude,
I think I'm talking
just
about,
shredded on electric.
as I'm
guitar.
saying, and I think people who are talking, saying, oh, no, you're talking about not Catholic, you're talking about Protestant or
Yeah.
whatever, which is maybe true. But I think that even in like Western countries now, like church, the guys that go to church are a little low T dudes, in my opinion, the ones that I've met.
Yeah.
And the people that I know that are in,
Well, they're generally they have a
they're happy wife, happy life guys. That's who they
for
are.
sure. Yeah. I was trying to because I wanted to say smug, but I don't think it's like a smug.
No, they're happy
necessarily.
wife, happy life.
Yeah, they are kind of. They're just like
Well, you know, the Lord wants us to do it. So.
happy Lord, happy Gord. That's what to say.
Exactly. So it's, in my opinion, and then Muslim is sort of like more like a alpha male influencer. Like you're never enough. Like, oh, I only slept 4 hours because I was praying so much. You didn't pray, you're a bitch.
Yeah,
Like,
you didn't put a garbage bag on your wife, you fucking bitch.
yeah, just like so over the top. Like, oh, you let your wife fucking speak. Like,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, what are Jews?
Jews are, that's a really good question. So Muslims are the alpha male Jew therapy TikTok. The lawyers, maybe?
The Jews are the Muslims' representatives. Got to make sure those contracts are all lined up.
Jews are interesting because they are all like bitched around by their wives, but they're not really bitched around by society.
Yeah,
You know?
it's almost like they're taking it out on society.
Yeah, it's like it's the guy that like lets you hit him, but like you didn't realize that, and he goes, "Oh my god, I can't believe you did that to me," but he stole your wallet, you didn't even notice. Like there's this thing where they almost like appear to be getting bitched around, but they're not.
I forgive you. Let's hug it out. And then
Exactly. Like he's kind of the Jews kind of like let you get the best of them, but like they kind of, you don't realize that they actually were beating you. So where does that fit in this? And they kind of go to the thing, but most of them, like, there's not as many like secular people that go to religion. Like there's all these, you know,
a
even
lot of secular Jews go.
a lot of secular Jews still do it.
Yeah, they do
So
stuff.
where does that fit in the content sphere? Because I put the American Christians at like therapy TikTok. I put them in alpha male content. What are the other types of content that we can maybe
There's therapy. There's alpha male. There's
maybe they're like the crypto influencers?
maybe the scammers. is
They're
what
like the
the scammers. They are trying to.
but I'm talking about temperamentally. I'm talking about temperamentally.
Yeah.
Like the attitude is probably
maybe like the know-it-all-y Ben Shapiro stuff, destroying college kids.
yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, they're like a Turning Point USA,
Turning
like
Point, yeah,
arguing college kids influencer.
Yeah, change my mind bench. Change my mind table.
Yeah, that's what you are.
Hey, change my mind.
In the influencer sphere, they're the change my mind.
Israel was always Palestine. Change my mind.
They're the change my mind bench. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's good. So I think that's what they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
The time has come for new golf clubs. It is the season. I'm hitting the course. Danny, have you already been hitting the course?
Not yet, no, but I'm going to be out and about. Definitely, we like to go out to the by City Field. They have a little pitch and putt.
Yeah, I know. Went with Toby, right?
Yeah, Toby.
Yeah, I was actually just looking at the courses that are in the neighborhood.
yeah.
So right now, this means one thing. Heading over to your local PXG store for a fitting. They make the best golf clubs, period. Danny just finished his fitting.
Yeah, it was pretty sick, man. You go in there, they have all these like machines and stuff, and you take some swings with clubs. They take all your measurements and stuff, because here's the thing, we're a couple tall drinks of water.
Yeah, I am a tall drink of
right?
water.
And when you go buy irons off the rack, right, they're not set up for people who are over 6 feet tall.
Every club's a 9-iron.
Well, kind of, but they're not set up for people who are taller. So then they make those adjustments, and some people have different length arms, right? Like some people's arms are different.
You don't even
length,
realize.
right? You don't even realize. So then you can't get in your proper posture to hit the ball, because you're like, oh, I got to reach because my clubs are too
You don't realize
short.
you're a knuckle dragger.
Right. Yeah. I mean, everybody's different. Some people have got short little dinosaur arms. It's different for who you are. So you go in there and they set you up, and it's really cool. Like they use all this stuff, and it's their clubs are
Taking the guesswork out.
Real sexy.
Yeah.
Real sexy clubs. That's all I can say.
So the fastest way to improve your performance on the golf course is a PXG fitting. PXG fitters are highly trained, incredibly experienced. They have a deep understanding of how you optimize your clubs to get the most out of a swing. PXG fittings are educational, plus they're fun. So schedule your fitting today, and for a limited time, you can save up to 20% on your entire order.
Ooh.
Head over to pxg.com/boyscast. 20% is nothing to sneeze at when we're talking golf clubs. You know what I'm saying?
No. That's a big purchase.
pxg.com/boyscast to save 20% off your entire order. pxg.com/boyscast. Restrictions apply. See the site for details. Guys, there's plenty of fitness influence out there trying to sell you more for less. Half the time, these people, they tell you all these ab workouts, and it turns out they just have naturally friggin' the body that just gives you abs. Half the time, they're selling their genetics off as a course for you.
Or they're roided up.
Yes, or not even to mention, they're not even natty.
Not natty.
Fitbod combines the workout planning and tracking you need to stay consistent and make progress. Not to mention, Fitbod customizes every workout, adapts as you improve to avoid boredom. Every workout needs variety to be sustainable, not only mentally, but also for your muscles, and help you avoid plateaus on your journey. You don't need a personal trainer to get the results you want. All you need is a personalized workout from Fitbod. So I personally have been using the Fitbod app for years now in multiple different gyms, not to mention different hotel gyms and gyms across the country. It keeps it interesting.
Body weight exercises.
Body weight exercise if you don't even have, yes.
If all you got is a body.
If all you got's a body.
Some people just have a body.
If you're just if some might say if you're a body man.
Yeah, if you're a body man.
They give you exercises you wouldn't think of, keep things interesting, also tracks everything so you know when the last time you worked out was. Not that you don't forget the last time you worked out, but if you know it's the right time to do that muscle
and what
again.
you were doing, your weight.
Sometimes you don't even realize that you're doing different exercises that you'd be like, oh, I'm actually doing the same muscle here because it looks like, whatever.
And then you look all weird.
You get the idea here that it keeps track of this stuff so you don't have to have use all this mental energy thinking about it.
You don't have to be one of those notebook bros.
You don't have to be a notebook bro like a friggin' weirdo in the gym.
Yeah.
If you haven't tried it, Fitbod creates a personalized workout routine based on your goals, fitness level, available equipment. The workouts adapt to your growth, so each workout is challenging enough to push you as you make progress. Fitbod tracks your muscle recovery, as I said, so you can avoid burnout, keep up the momentum. It's fine-tuned by certified, experienced personal trainers to bring the best practices and exercise science to you. So level up your workout and join Fitbod today to get your personalized workout plan. And you can get 25% off your subscription or try the app for free for 7 days at fitbod.me/boyscast. That is fitbod.me/boyscast. And then Scientologists are I'm the polyamorous weirdo of the influencer space.
The weirdos.
Like,
they're like the goths. They're like, I want to be kept to myself.
Yeah, they're sort of like something weird like that, where they're just like a freak with
Yeah, they're just kind of weird.
kind of weirdos.
I never met it. Do we know any Scientologists? Are there any comic Scientologists in New York?
Probably in LA.
New York, no.
Oh no, there's none that I know of.
Are they allowed to talk about it? Like I thought that was
They have to talk about it. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I can't remember if like that was part of their deal.
Part of their deal is if we sort of both watched the documentary and mentioned it, but if you are a famous Scientology guy,
you gotta pump it.
there is no better life available for a human being than being a famous Scientology guy.
That's true.
Like if you are,
I mean, the leader literally killed his wife and didn't get in any trouble.
if you are Tom Cruise, if you are Travolta, Will Smith. The catch is you get shit on by normal society a little bit because Scientology is very like frowned upon, like looked on as like goofy.
Yeah.
However, you get like your life is like perks, dude. You have a media apparatus behind you. Like you get like mini.
Sounds like
you get mini dictator treatment.
yeah.
Yeah, but you get it no matter what. Like Ben Shapiro does not have what people would call the Jewish media apparatus pumping him.
Yeah, he doesn't get like CNN to pump his shit.
No, like if you were a Scientologist, the Scientologist, like someone has an accusation about him, bye to that girl.
Yeah, you're gonzo.
You are. Oh yeah, you want to accuse Tom Cruise of something? Have fun.
That's probably Diddy's mistake because he got in bed with the Jews instead of the Scientologists.
Scientologists you don't want to mess with, and they're doing it, and not enough people are shining a light on it, so they're still getting away with it more.
It is true. Like all these documentaries just came out, and then they're just like, yeah. So what? Remember, just all the
back to business.
Dude, there was just like a fucking period when there was just every month there was a new Scientology doc. Takedown of Scientology.
Exposed.
Yeah, exposed, and then you
didn't do much.
Didn't do shit.
They're like Andrew Tate. They just keep going.
All right, cool.
Did you see I just looked into this recently, but it was like a week ago.
Yeah.
And Cory Booker, he did like a
5-hour filibuster.
The filibuster.
Yeah.
Funniest word in politics.
Yeah, dude. You just talk for 25 hours straight just to like kill time, basically.
Yeah, and I didn't realize this when I looked into it. So this guy, when he does that, he trains for it. Like he fasts for 3 days.
Yeah. Didn't drink water, so he wouldn't.
And then he doesn't drink water, so he doesn't eat, so he doesn't piss and shit.
Yeah.
It's basically a David Blaine stunt.
Kind of. It kind of is. Yeah.
He's literally doing like a Chris Angel stunt.
Yeah.
Like that's what politics is now. People doing like, you're like, oh, you're in politics? Like, what does that entail? You're like, mainly I just fast for 9 hours so I can stand and talk without shitting and pissing. And you go, politics.
This is politics? You go, yeah. In America, it is. Just talk for as long as possible.
Politics is literally a Chris Angel TV show. Hey, look here. Now I'm on the roof. Look at your portfolio.
The lights turn off. He goes, where'd he go? Lights flip back on. What happened to him? I don't know. Where did Cory Booker go?
Where did my stock market gains go? Open your mouth.
That'd be funny if it like there's a big scandal on Congress. Is like, he's wearing a diaper the whole time. It's bullshit. Dude, I saw him.
That's what I thought.
Saw him in the cafeteria eating fucking right beforehand.
That's what I thought. Yeah,
he's chugging water. Just soiling himself.
He's pissing and shitting on stage.
Yeah, he's talking. He's like,
the conservative media. He's just pissing and shitting himself.
I hope so.
I have a small point that is, I don't know if it's pro-Trump or anti-Trump or whatever, but it was kind of what I was thinking was, because I've watched a lot of people that maybe were indifferent on Trump like start to hate him. Over the last little bit. I think one of the reasons is because his like strength to some degree was like picking these 80-20 issues. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
For sure.
Like 80-20 issues that you're supposed to agree with the 20, but everyone agrees with the 80, right?
Yeah,
like the transports one's the perfect
you get fired.
one. You get in trouble, but you're like everyone, if you get them behind closed doors.
Pronouns in bio.
Yes, all that shit. You're like, most people think this thing's dumb, but it's kind of the like standard opinion. He was pretty good at like, picking a lot of these. Closing the border would be another one where you're like, most people are like, yes, they should have a border.
Yeah, you should. Every sovereign nation should have a border they defend. Pretty normal.
Right, and I think
pretty normal stuff.
But I think that when Trump is against your issue, he's so like nasty about it that I think the next time people agree with him, it takes them a while to like come back around. So if he loses people. There's that old newspaper thing where you're reading the newspaper and you're like, oh, this one's smart, and then they're talking about the thing that you care a lot about, and you're like, well, that's wrong about that, and then back to right again.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times he has so many issues now that he's like bound. If he does 10 issues and he crosses someone on one where they're like, he's really on the opposite side of my pet issue, it's kind of like the guy that you agree with mostly. But then the time you didn't agree with him, he called your wife fat.
Sure.
And then you're like, well, now
that was out of line.
But the next time you agree with him, you're going to be like, fuck you. Like,
Right.
I think he's getting a lot of people that he's like crossed them on an issue that was their pet issue.
Mm-hmm.
And that's made them. So I think he's losing a lot of people that he doesn't get back because he's crossed them on one of their issues.
Yeah, I mean, the funniest thing was...
If that makes sense.
Yeah,
However, maybe on their pet
one of
issue.
the funniest things to me was like conservative influencers last week when the stock market was like down 5%. What was it, like 3 days in a row or something? Or like 2 days in a row. And then they're like, losing money builds character. You're like, shut the fuck up. Literally shut the fuck up. Do you not have a fucking spine? You can't just be like, some things he does are bad or questionable. Like, shut up.
Shut up.
Oh, shit, and then losing a little money never hurt anybody. Go fuck and shut up.
Well, I think it's the like bizarro world where like the liberals are like, oh no, not the stock market.
Which is the funniest thing too.
Yeah,
Like,
and then the
literally,
Republicans are like,
now I get the effects of like, because the stock market goes down, there's less investment, less jobs, less hiring, like less revenues for these businesses. So like it does trickle down to the middle class. There's no question. But like what he is actually attempting to do is really just like a redistribution of wealth from like, I think 90% of stocks in America are owned by like 8% of people, like, or something crazy like that. Right. So essentially what he is trying to do is redistribute wealth from the rich to the middle class.
it's a Steve Bannon shit.
But you're like, you guys should love this. Like literally the stock market goes down. You should have been like sick.
Well, we
don't have stocks.
Well, some people are saying that.
Well, but most people on the left, because it's Trump, they're rubbing it in.
I got what you're sort of agreeing with what I said.
Yeah, for sure. Where they're like, oh, look at this fucking clown. You go, yo, you should love this shit. Like he's literally like his whole strategy here is just to redistribute the wealth.
Yeah, you're like
from rich to the middle class.
You're like, we need to take billionaires' money. He's like, well, you just took 20% away.
Yeah, it was fucking these 7 CEOs or whatever just lost $1 trillion.
Dave Portnoy is fucking crying right now.
Yeah, exactly. Are you not happy about that?
What you want?
Lost $20 million in like a day. What else do you want? What else do you want?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so
the last thing in that somewhat territory is the U.S. bans romantic and sexual relationships with Chinese citizens for government employees in China.
That's for their own benefit because it's hard to tell the chicks from the dudes. It's not even a Trump thing. It's just sometimes you wind up with a dude and you go, what the fuck? This was a chick. Sometimes you just got to be helped from yourself, It's hard to tell.
He's doing them a solid.
Yeah.
They're saying, listen, like, we'd love for you to be able to bang them, but you're going to end up with a dude.
Yeah,
man.
I'm telling you, it's hard to tell. It's like Thailand. It's really tough to tell.
The actual reason is because the government officials won't stop fucking spies.
Yeah, for sure. It's like the Eric Swalwell thing or whatever. We're like, yeah, I don't know. Again, they're really setting the tone here with everything that's going on. Then, if we saw a war with, and apparently in our group chat, our friend was saying like China actually has a date set for invading Taiwan of 2027. I did not know this, but like I didn't know that. Within China, like they have their date set for when they're going to invade Taiwan, which is like 2 years from now. I guess that's once they're going to have all their military capability built up so that they can defend themselves against. It wouldn't be against Taiwan, but I guess the rest of the world who like is has an issue with it. So, and who knows if they push that out, but it seems like we're gearing up for something pretty major with China in some capacity. Because China's not just.
Well, if you listen to a lot of like the Bannon guys, like the number one problem is China.
Yeah. Yeah,
they're kind of like everyone's worried about this Israel
just like
stuff.
Unleash a global pandemic.
All this Russia stuff and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, China's the only thing you should be worried about.
Yeah, China is. And again, they're number 2 and they have real designs on being number 1. So at what cost do they do that?
That is correctly the only competitor.
Yes, exactly. Like, I don't even know who's number 3. EU, maybe?
Who?
EU. Like the European Union.
Yeah, Russia's up there.
But we don't trade with
India,
Russia.
probably.
We don't really trade with Russia.
Is India up there?
India's probably up there, yeah. But I don't think it's close to China, to be honest. So
that's fine. Johnny, can you look that up? What is the third biggest economy after America and China?
Let's see. States,
Germany?
China, Germany.
Germany coming back for the win.
Yeah, Germany, Japan, and then India. So, EU's not even in there. I guess. Well, I guess if the
EU's not a real country.
It's not
right
a country. Yeah. The EU isn't a country. It's a union.
No, I mean
countries,
Britain. But every time I see Keir Starmer, I just go. Keir Daily Stormer, Starmer,
yeah,
Starmer,
2-tier queer,
guy stinks.
Yeah. Give me my samurai swords back.
Cool. They did an article about how they always do the articles.
Oh wow! By the way, the drop off to Germany, America 29 trillion GDP, China 18.5 trillion, Germany 4.5 trillion. So it's like there's two. They're like literally the bottom. Like, dude, Germany, Japan, and India is still only 2/3 of China.
Gotcha.
So it's like there's just a 1 and a 2, and that's it. Everybody else is just very much secondary.
That's probably the case.
Inconsequential. So,
well, I've talked about this like a little bit, that the Adolescence show came out, but when I go through articles for this show, and every single week for the last fucking 3 weeks, there's been 45 articles written about how like boys are incels.
Yeah.
This needs to stop. There are problems.
yeah, they need to get fucking.
I just watched Adolescence, this TV show, and now I realize that every little white boy in Britain is killing women.
What about this? What about if we get 13-year-olds, we go real old school, and you go, these kids might be incels, so let's get them prostitutes.
You're thinking.
Because here's the problem. They go, these kids don't want to fuck. You go, here's a porn star. Have fun.
Have at it.
Have at her, slugger. Try
to
to be an incel now.
It does. It's one of those things that like bothers me a lot.
Yeah.
And actually, in a way that things don't really get on my skin. This one, the amount that they've been doing, it's like it actually is starting to fucking itch at me.
Okay.
Well, I just go, they keep releasing articles. They go, we watched this movie that we wrote. And then it's like, and then we need to do something about this.
Yeah.
You go, it's like me writing a movie where a girl poisons her husband and she's 13 and then she's 13 and she goes to school and she poisons all the little boys. And I go, this needs to stop.
Yeah, this needs to stop now. Yeah. Women are out of hand. Little girls, out of hand.
It's a fictional movie.
Yeah.
Like that's not that is not nearly.
And I'll tell you where they're not watching Adolescence. China.
Well, they have a big.
You know they're banning all movies in China?
All movies?
Dude, all Hollywood movies, this is part of the trade thing. Of this whole tariff thing is China banned all Hollywood
Does that mean
movies.
they'll start being good again?
I mean, there is something nice about the fact where you go, yeah, well,
Huge for black actors.
well, yeah, huge for black actors in posters, but oh, I get to be on the poster again. Pretty cool. I mean, there is some element where you go, yeah, like when they make these fucking Marvel movies, they go, the whole economics of it is you go, we make 400 million in China.
Yeah, I know.
That's why we spend 300 million on this slop. And why, so if they can't make that, then they're maybe like, yeah, we need to rethink this entire business model because the domestic market's not big enough. Yeah, so that could be good.
Yeah, they're not watching that slop there.
No, not anymore.
I was thinking about it, and it was like they need to make like a deal right now, because it's like obviously there's something that these women and male women want, which is they want like men to stop watching like Manosphere stuff and red pill stuff, right? Their offer that they're making is just, we offer you nothing,
you get nothing,
and we want you to make all these changes.
Yes,
that is their offer.
Pretty on brand for women.
Their offer is, we'll stop like calling you as bad in the papers.
Yes,
that offer is not taking.
No,
right. So this is even, and there is a little bit of a thing where they almost the media, but also like chicks, they kind of like take every male issue and they use it to be like get what they want, if that makes sense. Like air their grievances, where they go, there's a lot of men committing suicide, right? And then they go, well, that's because they don't talk about their feelings enough. And it's like, sounds like you want me to talk about my feeling. It's like literally going to girls. You're like, oh, girls are depressed. That's because they're not giving head enough.
Yeah, for sure.
Like they list off things that they want, and they go, you have a problem. It's a guy being like, I didn't get a job. You know, your wife being like, oh, I'm like kind of sad. And you go, well, maybe if you just didn't spend so much of my money, then you would be less. And you go, this isn't helping.
Not helping. No.
Do you know what I mean?
No.
So they have these problems, and they go, so first of all, the first thing part of the deal is you have to acknowledge that some of these problems are affecting men and more than women. And on top of that, you have to acknowledge there's some things that are that are easier for a woman.
Yeah.
But they can't.
They can't do that.
So the only thing they can do, the only tool they have in their toolkit is to tell you how bad people are.
Yeah.
And that's never worked in the history to be like, this guy you guys think is cool. Know who's better? Tim Walz.
Yeah.
And they go, no, he's not. And they
He's
go,
a man's man, that Tim Walz.
and they go, maybe we'll write 100 more articles. Like, it's like the only toolkit they have is like, can we tell them they're bad more?
All right. I'm actually pretty confident in the inherent nature of like a 13-year-old boy being generally a piece of shit that this is just not going to take.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm actually pretty confident. They just are not factoring how inherently a piece of shit a 13-year-old boy is.
Oh, I mean, imagine, but you don't have to be a piece of shit for them to be like, two people walk in. Option one, person saying like, yo, get rich, get pussy. And the other guy's like, future is female, you're toxic. And then the other guy comes in your other year and he's like, get rich, get jacked, get pussy. And then they come in, they go, we'd actually appreciate if you didn't say pussy. And you go,
do you know that working out's actually white supremacist
and then you
coded?
You go, which one do they listen to? You go, can you believe this?
Yeah. This guy who wants you to be physically fit?
You go, why would they what are these psychopaths?
Is there no in between?
And then the other part is you go, you understand that this guy's not so appealing without the other guy in your ear being like, nah, excuse me. You go, now I'm listening more.
Right.
This is what they're doing.
Yeah.
So they need like a cool guy. If they want to give kids like people, if they want to give kids people that they can listen to, you can't.
Warren Buffett.
You don't get to squeak in any of your propaganda into the guy.
Well, what's the fun of that?
Well, that's the thing. You don't get to control it. No. So they're saying we want them to have these role models, but we want to control the role. You're not going to be able to. You have to accept the market will give them a better role model, but you can't.
What's wrong with Mr. Beast? He's a good role model.
It's a terrible role model.
He's a good one. He makes you touch the car.
I have 9 cancer patients running on
I gave them all cancer. They were previously
I gave them all
cancer-free.
cancer. They're running on treadmills. Whoever can run on a treadmill for 9 hours straight will get 1% of his treatment paid by me.
I've given 9 kids poison. Only one of them will get the antidote.
And lastly, the kids want the R word back.
Yeah.
So you can't get them in trouble.
Give them the R word.
And nothing crazy. It's like, you're not allowed to be able to go to a retarded person and be like, you fucking retard. No. But you could, if it's positive, you're like, oh, I just bought tickets. I just took this retard to see WrestleMania. Yeah, that's actually
for sure. As an example of the whole R word thing, like, I've been doing this joke about how, like, you ever watch those pedophile hunter videos?
Yes, I just wrung my brain about that influencer that was a pedophile.
Oh, Vitaly.
Yeah. Yeah, but
anyways, but the pedophile hunters, you watch these videos. And like half of the dudes are like legitimately mentally challenged. And I'm not going to call them the R word because they actually are mentally challenged people. Yeah. And you're like, this is this weird thing where I'm like, they need to start like kids need to start asking strangers on the internet skill testing questions. Be like, yo, if you don't want your kid to get fucking meet up with a pedophile at a fucking Dunkin' Donuts, just be like, yo, what's like 8 times 7? If you can't answer it, that's a pedophile. Every time. Almost every time.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, but
anyways, I wouldn't call him the R word in the joke.
Buddy, have you seen what's going on with these influencers, pal?
I'm so for all of this, by the way.
Johnny Somali, Vitaly. Vitaly was the original zombie in the hood. Yeah. They were all like OG YouTuber guys.
Yeah.
I watched the video of him. I guess he's in, where was he? Philippines. Pretty crazy what he's doing. He goes up to like security guards and he like steals his hat, reaches for the guy's gun, and then he goes to like a place where they like, when you go
harassing an old lady or something.
Harassing an old lady. Do you know when they go to the places and they have you have to walk through like a scan metal detector? Yeah. He goes to the metal detector. He takes the metal detector stuff. He starts putting it in his pants and stuff like that. Yeah. Like pretty wild stuff. And in the Philippines, like that seems like he was going off.
Again, man. It's like you know,
he's gonna do.
If you go to a different country, countries do not like. This is such.
That's why I never want to go anywhere.
Such a U.S. centric.
I can't control myself
to go to different countries and be like, yeah, I'll just abide by the rules of the United States. You go, that's not how it works. Yeah, you're not in the United States.
That's why I never leave.
Yeah, you go. Don't like this is the laws are different everywhere. People have different tolerances for things.
It's wild.
And it's like the Philippine prison system is probably fucking brutal.
You don't want to do a month there, let alone 10 years.
Hell no.
Dude, he's up for like a 20-year sentence. So is the other guy.
Dude, I did this podcast the other day with this guy, and he's like, my friend's son went to Japan and brought like some of those like weed vape cartridges with him to Japan.
Oh.
Right?
It's someone in your personal knowing circle.
Well, I don't know him. It's just this guy's podcast I did, and he goes, it was his friend's son.
Okay.
And he's like, his friend's son brought like 4 of those just like whatever, half a gram, 1 gram cartridges.
To where?
To Japan. Because he was going on a trip to Japan. He just like smokes weed all day. So he's just like, I don't want to not have weed. They found them. They charged him with like distribution or whatever. And he got 5 years in a Japanese prison. And Japanese prison's brutal.
Japanese prisons are brutal?
Brutal, dude. Dude, go watch this there's this documentary about this crypto guy.
I watched mostly prison documentaries.
It's only on YouTube, but this French crypto dude who was living in Japan, and then he got it's him and Carlos Ghosn, who is the former CEO of Nissan, who like famously mercenaries went and broke him out and like took him out of Japan in like luggage or whatever because he was facing all this time in prison. And this guy,
mercenaries went to Japan.
You never heard the story?
No, tell me it. Oh that's man, fucking crazy.
It's crazy. So he was the CEO of Nissan. I went to his son's house actually here.
What?
In New York? Yeah. It was crazy. He had like literally a $20 million townhouse. It was fucking insane. But he was in prison, or he was the CEO of Nissan. Then he got charged in Japan for like, embezzlement or whatever, something like some financial crime. He's like, I didn't do it. He's like, they're railroading me, all this stuff.
Why were they railroading him, do you think?
I mean, he might have done it. I don't know. I don't know that, right? But so anyways, he was out on bail, and then he hired like U.S. mercenaries who...
From jail?
No, he was out on bail. He was like out like on bail awaiting trial
on bail
in Tokyo. He hired these like 2 mercenaries from the States. They came in. They basically put him in like somehow like put him in like a luggage or like what are those like little fucking what are those things called? Like with the
suitcase?
No, not a suitcase. Like like the big ones that they used to have on like the Titanic, like those kind of like crates or whatever.
Crates?
So you would like carry your luggage, like luggage, giant luggage,
like the ones that a band would have, like all
something like that.
Hard shell.
Yeah, like those hard shell case or whatever. So they put him in one of those, and they smuggled him out of Japan, like as like a fucking item essentially. And then he went to like, I don't know where he's from, like Algeria or France or something. He went to some country where he's like no extradition treaty with Japan, and he's just like out. And he paid them like $1 million to get him out. It's a crazy story.
Oh.
But so in this documentary, they talked to this crypto guy who was like, I didn't do anything. It was a misunderstanding, and they put him in jail. Japanese prison, man, is like makes American prison look amazing. Because you have to...
I'm not saying I would have thought it would be good, but of the worst
cleaner.
ones... I just wasn't expecting... Because it's a little Western there. I was expecting there's worse versions than that.
Dude, you're not allowed to talk. You're not allowed to like hum or sing, nothing. You are not allowed to talk, and you have to sit in your cell either cross-legged or... Cross-legged or kneeling, like on your knees, just kneeling just all day while you're in your cell. And then they like feed you, then you work. It's like super regimented. Like, you get these like little breaks in between work, but it's like, exactly like to the second, do your job. And then when you go to your cell, you just have to like,
and this guy's about to do 5 years of that.
5 years. Yeah. And his like parents moved to Japan to just be near him, I guess, while they're trying to get him out. But the people, like Americans, just think like, yeah, my son's in prison. Like fucking, I'll just go there and like lobby the, the U.S. consulate to let him out. And they're like, we can't do anything. It's like it's like the Brittany Griner thing. You're like, smuggled drugs in. I don't know what to tell you. 4 Canadians were executed in China last year because they broke some law or whatever. I don't know if it was drug trafficking, and then they just came out with it like a year later where the Canadian government was like, yeah, 4 Canadians got executed. They're like, nothing you can do about it.
So I wouldn't be doing this stuff.
No.
He should have stuck to pedophile hunting in America.
Yeah.
But if you watch the videos, it is like, this is crazy what this guy's doing.
Insane.
I mean,
especially with the Johnny Somali stuff, where you're like, you already see a guy who's like facing all this time in fucking Korean or Japanese or Korean prison for like straight
taking a hat off a police officer,
nuisance
like
streaming. You're like, what are you doing? And then Kick apparently deleted. Although I mean,
not doing that here would be wild in my opinion.
Yeah, go up to a fucking NYPD officer and just snatch his hat off. See what happens.
Yeah, I think this guy's a security guard, so maybe it's a little different. I don't know which it was, but
yeah, and they're not letting him out on bail. Basically, like he's in jail awaiting trial. And like I was reading some stuff where they're like,
do 20 years,
dude. They say like he could go years without even having a trial. Like, it could be years before he even gets to trial. Because again, you're in the Philippines, dude. Like, their last president, Duterte,
do you remember?
was fucking executing drug dealers. Like, their president was literally sending out like hit squads to just straight up execute drug dealers or suspected drug dealers, like extrajudicially, essentially. Ooh. Yeah, like, they don't fuck around, man. Like, you think you think just because you're American, you're like, yeah, it'll just be like America. You're like, wrong.
I know.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of Americans do think that they're like, yeah, but I'm American.
Yeah, they probably.
Sometimes they are a little right. Like, sometimes they do get them back.
Yeah, sometimes they do get them back. They only have to trade the merchant of death for them. But yeah, sometimes if you're the leading rebounder in the WNBA, they just have to give up the merchant of death.
Yeah, they do, but they do sometimes make deals to get their people back.
Yeah, they do sometimes make deals. I mean, you know, there's a bunch of journalists who are like in Russian and Chinese prisons and stuff. The journalists are more of you go, yeah, that's like, they should. Because the thing is, journalists go there and then they go, you're a spy. And so we treat you like a spy. And they go, no, I'm just a journalist.
Yeah,
go, to us, you're a spy. And you go, yeah, the State Department does work to get those people back, but you have to make trades. Like, you know, they don't just hand them over.
Yeah, it's a free market economy to get
yeah,
people
they go,
back.
yeah, what do we get? We go, give us fucking the people you arrested for being our spies. Like, I don't know.
You can fuck my wife.
Have you heard of hot wifing?
Final offer. So the reason I even brought this up is we always talk about there's a lot of these articles where they talk about all of the things that every dude likes. And by the way, my last comment I'll say is, like, there's plenty of dudes, like, even if you watch like Aiden Ross, like fucking, you know, let's say Bradley Martin, like all these sort of people, it's like it's not just this, like, that side of the internet is not just this like cesspool of fucking anger. It's like there's all sorts of different
for sure
debates going on, and they're like, well, no debates. We already have the answer, and no one is like, everyone's like, you guys suck. No one wants to listen to you.
No, and
fucking
listening.
Teenagers definitely don't.
That's the thing is, like, yeah, you have teenagers for whatever 6 hours a day where you can fucking fill their head with whatever you want, and probably only really 30 to 45 minutes of the day is like propaganda hour,
and it's not taken.
They still need to learn math and stuff and science and all that shit in English, and then they go home and they go, yeah, and from 4 p.m. to midnight, it's like, it's my time.
I watch KSI.
Yeah, it's like, it's streamer time.
Or what's that guy's name? You know, I show Speed or whatever.
Yeah, so
it's like, those guys are not that crazy. But anyways, but they've been doing that forever.
Yeah.
But now they've decided they're saying some of the women are getting to, because always what happens once the guys start doing
are they becoming too big of whores? Is that the problem?
You'd think so, by the way.
Not big of whores enough.
I also had that thought when they were just kind of saying this shit, like, you know, men are listening to these guys that are bad, and it was like, yeah, and women are listening to women telling them to go have sex with 1,000 guys.
Yeah, like, are they going to start bringing in like
be a fucking prostitute?
Yeah, like, are they going to bring in like an ex-OnlyFans creator smoking out of her neck who works at a fucking Dollar General, being like, that's not the path you want to take?
Yeah, well, if you want to at least be fair.
Yeah. I agree. They're not going to do it.
No, but they're like, they promote
God forbid
that.
They denigrate sex work.
Yeah, exactly, right? So it's like, until you, like, and I would admit, in my opinion, that's a lost cause. They don't have the ability to do that. They're morons. Their message is unappealing. Men hate them. However, what they probably could do is just leave when guys are like medium, like kind of bad, they associate with bad people, but you go, leave them alone.
Yeah.
And the kids will gravitate towards those people.
They'll figure it out. Yeah.
But, it's like, and they're like, no, they're all going to come to school and kill women.
Yeah. You go, have they been doing that? Not yet.
Yeah.
But they might. And that's what we want to stop.
So, experts say these seemingly innocent social media trends could sway you to the far right. And this is to girls, Huffington Post. Huffington Post says women are getting swayed to the far right now.
Uh-oh.
But the things that they're saying are swaying women are probably better than the guy
Was it breastfeeding?
Clean eat.
Breastfeeding's far right.
I mean, kind of.
Yeah, I know.
Clean eating and clean beauty. You're noticing clean beauty. First, there's a lot of very much of these eugenics discourse of purity, body purity.
Don't you guys want to get rid of fucking Down syndrome people?
That's true.
You want to talk about eugenics?
Purity in your food, pureness in your makeup that is very closely aligned with white supremacists. So basically someone's saying, like, you know, I don't want to have like seed oils, and they're like, what the fuck did you just, you know?
Oh,
wow.
I didn't realize I was selling cosmetics to a Nazi.
Yeah, you start. Well, that the cosmetics is essentially like, I guess, fashion goes through these trends where there's like a lot of makeup, and then it always goes the other way where it's like minimal makeup. And they're basically saying like, if you don't want to look like a clown, you're in the Klan.
Yeah.
Two options: clown, or you either look
Clown
like
or Klan.
Mimi from Drew Carey's show.
Second week in a row referencing that.
I know that. I get it right this time. I said, what did I say? The Drew Carey show. What did I say? Call it before?
I don't remember.
I called it King of the something.
Oh, King of the Hill.
I got it. No, I didn't call it King of the, but I got it wrong last time, and I hated that. So, clean eating. They're saying like people that are like, I'm going to eat clean, has eugenics discourse where you're like, I'm going to get a Diet Coke. Can I get a burger? Can I get the burger pure?
Pure, clean. Don't you remember?
Can I get the burger Aryan, please?
No, don't you remember when we were living in Canada right before we moved here, and there was this huge scandal because this woman opened up on like First Avenue here a clean Chinese food. Remember? Do you remember that?
Oh, they weren't happy with that?
This white chick opened up a Chinese food.
They're like, are you saying Chinese food's dirty? You're like, do you not know that?
Yeah. He goes, yeah. I mean, literally, like, yeah, I think we all kind of do know that. But like, she didn't even mean like clean as in sanitary. It's just like the way health food people go. There's clean foods and dirty foods. How you like lots of fats and oils, like over oiled.
Duh.
Yeah, or whatever. But then everyone was like, this is like in the height of all this nonsense. People were like, what do you mean clean Chinese food? What does that even mean? You go,
And also, it's actually clean the other way too.
Yeah, it's also the clean the other way. Yeah, we don't have a fucking C- sticker from the health board on our fucking front. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah. But she had to like close down after like a month.
Yeah.
Because literally the people are like, yeah, you're not allowed to open a Chinese restaurant. And you go, I don't know, every Arab has a pizza place here. I think this is
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
I think you can.
Yeah, so clean eating, they're saying, anyone that's not just like eating, fatty seed oil, just drinking a bucket of, you get KFC, eat the KFC, and then you pour seed oils into the KFC bucket, and then drink the bucket, and then put the bucket on your head, and you're buckethead now.
Yeah, you're buckethead now.
And they want, unless you want to be buckethead.
You better learn to shred, pal.
So that was their first one, is that women that want to eat clean and not wear like a fucking face full of clown makeup
Yeah,
are
that's fair.
supporting eugenics.
This is far right.
Homesteading, trad wives, natural way of living. This one, there's a certain element of like, yes, obviously that's more of a conservative thing.
Yeah, it's a conservative thing.
Going back to the ancestors' way of living, trad wives, homesteading, and a more natural way of life is a rabbit hole. Via gardening videos, cooking content, and more. While these topics may have good qualities, they too can lead to problematic pipelines.
I just love the
Seems
idea.
like a lazy woman that doesn't want to
Your
cook.
wife's home all day. You come home from work. She's like, I saw a recipe. I made you an apple strudel. You go, oh, this is good. She goes, did you know that 13% of the population commits 50% of the crime? What? The fuck? Where did you get that? She goes, I just the apple strudel
recipe.
The apple strudel Instagram that I was on. It's just the reels. I was going through them, and all of a sudden,
The apple stormer.
I started getting crime statistics.
Yeah. Well, I started reading the Daily Baker, and yeah, literally.
Yeah.
So basically, yeah, this woman saying like, that's what happens. You start cooking, and then next thing you know, if you're not basically doing like everything that is against any sort of traditional.
Yeah, just eat bugs.
If you're not eating
Literally,
bugs,
if you're fucking not making a bug casserole, you're alt right.
yeah, you come home, your wife's got glowing skin. You go, let me see your search history.
Yeah.
She goes, it's propaganda. Because that's it's propaganda. You're supposed to look healthy and beautiful, but this sort of signaling is worthy. Is signaling that you're worthy. So looking hot was one of them, where like girls like have a lot of discourse of like trying to look beautiful.
Yeah,
and they're saying
that's far right.
Far right. yeah.
All right.
And they're wondering why fucking boys are not like. And we also think girls should be uglier. Boys, how are you not on board with this? Hey, boys, we got an idea you're going to love. Boys, gather around. We got the perfect idea.
Because I would like a more beautiful wife.
We think all women should be ugly, fat, and don't cook. You listening? Hey, but that's not all. we want a face full of clown makeup on them. A real pig, you know?
Real pig.
She's going to be walking around the house oinking, and you're going to clean for her.
Yeah.
Let me finish.
Wouldn't want to be far right.
All right, put your hands up if you're all in, or y'all. You guys in or you in? And then also, you're going to go to jail for tweets. Let me finish it.
Sounds pretty good.
It's the perfect. I got the
Sounds
perfect
like a
life for
utopia,
you.
right?
It's a utopia for you.
Oh.
And your wife, yeah. So, girl dinner and girl math, the trends. When it comes to things like saying girl dinner and girl math, you know what girl dinner is?
No.
Girl dinner is when they
It's like an apple and a carrot on a plate.
It's like instead of a real dinner, they just have like some nuts and it's like a
bunch of ingredients.
bunch of little
bunch of
snacks.
uncombined ingredients.
Bunch of little snacks.
Yeah.
It's probably kind of what I do sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, you usually have it as
I go to
a snack.
7-Eleven and I have like a thing of nuts, like a thing of fruit, a banana.
Yeah. I mean, that's
And then a protein bar.
pretty clean eating.
Clean eating. Having a snacky dinner as your favorite foods is fun, and finally purchasing your favorite shoes can be also fun. But she categorized these types of things as problematic because they're saying they're girl. So saying that like
Anything's girl.
she's saying when you like girls right now they'll be like, oh, you know when you return something and you're like, oh, that's free money, girl math. They're like, no, that's just math.
That's just math. That's just good business.
That's just everyone math. How is it just girl math? It's everyone math. And then your wife's going to be spending all her money on everything, you see? And you do it too, you see?
Yeah.
Everyone does it.
There you go. Speaking of the far right, actually.
It's just rebate is free money. That's just math.
Yeah, that is math. My wife literally does think that. She goes, she literally, our joke in our house as she returns something, she goes, I'm making money.
I'm getting rich. You know how rich we are right now?
You know how rich we are? I'm getting the money back on the Chinese trash I bought.
Danny, we were going to buy Grateful Dead tickets that were $8,000, and I found them for $7,500. We have $503.
Yeah, he goes, we can just do whatever we want to do with that. And I go, all right. But
Girl dinner, girl math. That's another one they say. Anyways,
I was just going to say, speaking of the far right, I just like to announce. I just like to announce that I've been vindicated. I'm officially chalking a vindication up to myself.
On what?
On Patriot Front. So remember Patriot?
Not feds. People, you're saying they're not.
So
feds.
Patriot Front, I've been saying, and I've been getting fucking.
You're just like they're just normal.
Killed on this. Everybody's like, you're so, because the common refrain on the internet is everybody's like, feds, they're feds. Look at them, they're fit, they're feds, all that stuff. You know, Joe Rogan even says they're feds, all that stuff. And I said, I'll go when Kash Patel becomes director of the FBI. If they're gone the next day, I'll eat my words that they are feds if they disappear, because Kash Patel definitely is not having Patriot Front as marching around as fucking.
He's not going to have his agents marching
around as fake white supremacists. Not going to happen. Anyways, they were out 2 days ago in Frisco, Texas, because that kid got murdered. Whole thing. They're still very active. They are not feds. And I just like to say I've been saying this for 2 years that they're not feds, and everybody's clowning on me. And I've been vindicated.
Yeah, you have been about this. I remember we'd be at like a birthday party and Danny would be in the corner like, you don't understand. They're real whites.
Just because they have khakis and they're fit. I don't care.
Yeah, you.
And someone's watching this right now and they go, no, you're stupid, dog.
They are not feds. You take it
They're
back.
not feds. I mean, my favorite thing actually is that like they're trying to run this like far right, like militia white supremacist group, and their main dude, what's this, something Russo or whatever, literally has to just go on podcast and be like, we're not feds.
Yeah, that stinks.
He's like, we're honestly, I'm telling you, you'd love us. Like we're doing sick stuff. And everybody's just like, I'm telling you, everyone who's calling us feds, you'd actually have a good time.
Yeah,
we're doing good shit. And
that is
feds.
the worst thing to be as a white supremacist, where you're just like, I hate the blacks, and I was like, sure you do, buddy.
Yeah,
Sure you do, buddy.
Fed. Someone's glowing.
I swear I don't.
I fucking swear. What do you need from me? You want me to burn a cross? I'll fucking burn a cross. I'll do anything, man. You go,
I hate
yeah,
the
buddy.
Jews. Yeah,
sure, pal.
You and me both. Sure,
Someone's a bit of a poser.
Sure, pal. I'm sure you hate him.
You go, no, I hate them so much. Okay, all right.
Sure you do.
All right, buddy.
This guy's wearing fucking black underwear. You know, like the refs.
They're just like, literally, they have strategy meetings where they're like, what the fuck? What can we do here? Everybody just thinks we're feds.
Do you remember that one where they used to always say when the ref was playing for the other team?
Yeah.
Oh, this guy's got fucking Montreal Habs underwear on. Which is such a hilarious thing to think of a ref wearing the opposing team's underwear. So that one, yeah, that stinks to be a patriot front. No one believes
Yeah,
you're racist.
nobody believes you.
I'm so racist. You
what-
don't even
yeah,
understand.
you're like, we're the literally.
I don't
like,
think you are.
We are the most far right, the most racist. Everybody goes,
I don't think you are.
Yeah, sure, pal. Yeah, nice try.
You probably love black people.
I hate them.
Okay, the next one is, this is in relation to the other one, girl math and girl dinner. Also, any opinion that you are hearing that is making you close to changing a part of your lifestyle, you should double check. Oh, it also erases non-binary folks and promotes gender essentialism. So, meaning women have certain traits while men have certain traits.
Oh, God forbid.
You know what they're doing right now? They go, men are, men and women, if we add up all their traits and they're the exact same, that's girl math. Yeah, they're doing,
Yeah, they're doing
the people in the
girl math.
article are doing a little girl math to say, there's actually no biological traits. We've looked at the numbers. We did some girl math.
did some girl math.
That's what girl math really is. It's whatever you want it to be.
Yeah. It's very.
Girl math is numbers or whatever you
Girl
want
math
it to
is
be.
literally fucking Terrenceology. Teriology or whatever the fuck. Terrence Howard's new math.
Yeah.
Just goes, yeah, this isn't real. You go, yeah, it is.
Girl math is
It's
the numbers
real
are-
and it explains the universe.
the numbers are whatever you want them to be. That's exactly what girl math is.
Absolutely.
Men and women are exactly the same. Girl math. I've done the numbers, and men and women actually are the same strongness. Girl math.
Yeah. Gotta love girl math. I mean, some of humanity's greatest achievements have been discovered via girl math.
So making you close to changing a part of your lifestyle, you should double check. You should always check multiple sources, not just with your friends. Look for, is there anyone out there who has said anything about this being a trap before? Have you really done enough research to warrant behavior change?
Oh, we're doing our own research now, are we? Okay. Okay.
This research, by the way, is you're watching a makeup tutorial that says how to put minimal lipstick
Yeah.
on, and you go, you got to check 12 sources to make sure
Have
that they're
you
not
seen
turning
this
you into a
person's
white
web
supremacist.
history? Go look at this person's follower list. They might have some questionable follows. It's really the only way you can do it.
Ah, shit. Okay, let's go. Patreon.com/theboyscast. We have a whole bunch more stuff to talk about. See you over there. Peace.
Get in there.